next time I want to watch something.
Dollar bill, y'all. All right, we're live. Oh, I'm doing this out of order. This is not good. I don't usually do it like this. I may have screwed everything up. Oh, well, let's see what happens.
Hey, but I'm in it. I'm wearing it.
3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast, Webisode 830, the Eldegoss Podcast. The Go Nintendo Podcast is a part of the HyperX Podcast Network. Check out our show and other shows on podcast.hyperx.com. Mom Brain. That excited about the Pokemon or the podcast? Or HyperX? I hear they've got great deals.
You in your heart decide what it is.
It's Pokemon, and you're going to tell us about Eldegoss.
Eldegoss is what I'm going to call it.
The Eldegoss.
Eldegoss. The seeds attached
Wendigo.
to Eldegoss's cotton fluff are full of nutrients.
I know.
It spreads them on the wind
Oh,
so that
that's
plants
beautiful.
and other Pokemon can benefit from them.
Beautiful.
That's so nice.
Not better than the ones that were those two thief Pokemons that we talked about. Pokemons. That we talked about last couple weeks.
What Pokemons do you got?
I really like Pokemons. I have favorite. It'd be Pokemans.
What did you call?
All right. We don't need to think about
Pikachu
No.
last night at the movie.
Nope. We don't need to talk about it.
Pichongo?
Nope.
Pachingu?
I said Pachikachu, okay? I don't know why I said it, but I said Pachikachu.
Pachikachu.
And you know what? I didn't even say Pachikachu. I said Pachik, and I stopped myself, and you were like, what was that? You were right to do it, because I would do it to you. But yeah, Pachikachu. I don't know what happened in my brain, but
I kind of like it better.
it's gonna. There you go, Pokemon Company. There's your next evolution for free. Pachikachu. What is it? Pikachu, Raichu. Is there another one? I don't know. Pachikachu. There you go. You got it.
Pachikachu.
That is not correct.
A foot tall. This is Eldegoss, by the way. A foot tall, 5 pounds, male and female, cotton bloom category, and abilities include Regenerator. What's that, you want to know? It restores a little HP when withdrawn from battle. I am a big RPG player, so I understand.
Cotton Bloom.
Cotton balls.
That was for you.
Thank you. Cotton Down. When the Pokemon is hit by an attack, it scatters cotton fluff around and lowers the speed stat of all Pokemon except itself.
Thanks, Mom Brain. That was
My
great.
pleasure.
Probably the best one you've ever done.
Wow.
Doom Michaels is here.
Uku, Pikachu.
Pikachu.
I can't even say it right.
I know. It's hard to say wrong. Mom Brain is here.
I sure am.
I am here. Nikki Hill is here virtually.
Hello.
And Kirby, unfortunately, is not here. He thought he was going to be able to make it, but he cannot.
Working 9 to 5 for service and devotion.
Please be a new catchphrase to start every show. What? Pachikachu? Sure. Unless we said something else. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Hello, Eggplant Jr. and Nightwind and Retsuza and Blinded by Daylight and Highland Tom and Malik Halo and Mom Perfect Brain, of course.
I do have a perfect brain, by the way.
And RLM, and I saw some Ice Dilbert, Guy Bones. I saw something amazing in the chat. Yes, Retsuza earlier today at 3:04 p.m. New Jersey time, 3:04, posted a picture that said, "Just got home with this bad boy, Vianetta."
Are you going to eat that during pod?
Secured. Retsuza, if you do eat that during pod, we're going to need an update. But where you can give a country where you live generic, because that does not look like the ones here. Because ours are blue and good humor now instead of black and white elegance and
they
briars.
blow chunks.
Yeah, they were not very good. Ireland, well, it's the real deal over there. It's got to be the real deal. Thanks for joining us on this Friday podcast. If you've been listening to the show for a long time, you know that once a year we make our trek to North Carolina, and that time of the year is tomorrow. So we will not be here to record a show, but we'll be back next Saturday for a regular show after an 8-hour car ride for me.
Just maybe you'll drive a real dad move. Just put a windshield wiper fluid in the car.
Where you got the warning. That popped up yesterday on the screen, and you were like, "Oh, I got to top off the windshield wiper fluid."
Well, I mean, you don't want to be traveling.
Usually, it rains like ridiculously hard at one point when we're going down there.
Is that in the Tesla?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they still take regular windshield fluid. Is it different? Is it like electric somehow?
It's Wi-Fi, yeah.
It's robot tears.
It actually collects energy from the sun and the condensation.
Oh, we
Yeah,
we
we
didn't tell
should.
that on the podcast.
And
did
the
we?
condensation gets recycled back in, and that's what you use.
Red Souza says, I'm about to take it out, the Viennetta. I'll show you some later. It's 11 p.m. here. I'm enjoying some late night ice cream.
Ooh.
Oh,
Chef's
baby.
kiss.
That is a
Yummy.
Friday into Saturday if I've ever heard of one. Hello, Anastasia Beaverhausen. And they say, thanks for a reminder to take mine out.
Wait a
And they-
minute. That's a birthday?
Birthday cake, Viennetta. What's going on? You guys are living the high life. We never had anything like that here. Yeah, let's tell the story very quickly. We went to visit Deux last weekend, and we, on the way there, picked up a surprise pizza and those Cinnabon things, because who was it? After Noobs in the chat was like, eat these Cinnabons, and I ate one and they were fantastic.
And
Mom
I
Rain-
ate 9, and they were fantastic.
I didn't have any.
Yeah, if you said I ate 9 and they were terrible, I'd be like, I don't understand.
Yeah, if
These
I
are
didn't
really
like
bad.
them,
Better
I could
keep
only-
going.
I could only get down 7 or 8 if I didn't like it.
So we
I
went.
wouldn't have a problem.
We went to Pizza Hut, and the guy saw our car, which is a Tesla, and he was like,
Well, because the explicit reason for owning a car with a frunk is for Pizza Hut, so that you don't have to have it in your car and you don't have to smell it.
any extra smelly food. So Mom Brain was like, put the Pizza Hut in the front, because pizza, I love to eat pizza, but you don't want your car smelling like, well, Mom Brain doesn't want our car smelling like it. But I put it in the front, and the guy was like, "What? Hello there, Guy Bones." The guy was like, "What's going on?" And she was like, "It's a frunk." And I was like, if he doesn't know that it's a trunk in the front of the car, he's gonna not understand what a frunk is. So I was like, "Oh, it's an electric car. It's got a trunk up front and a regular trunk in the back." And then I don't remember. Hello. Oh, I said hi to you already. Sorry. And then what did he say?
Well, I said, yeah, it comes in really, really handy. I said, it's an electric car. And he said, so like no gas? And I said, no gas at all. It's great. And then he said, well, it's real great until there's a whole lot of shade and you don't get any sun. And I
Nice.
didn't.
You
Got
laughed.
your number.
You laughed, and we drove away. And I knew what he meant. And then
and
you
like
looked
an
at me a
hour
couple.
later.
No, a couple seconds later, you said
No,
something.
it was a while later that I remember that I like realized.
Well, Mom Brain looked at me and said, he thought it was a solar powered car. And I was like, yes, he did.
Yeah.
And I thought you laughed just because you were like, this is going to take too long to
Well,
explain.
yeah, it was
I'm
just being
gonna go away."
polite. Like I didn't know what he was
Yeah.
talking about. Like
So he said something serious, and you laugh at him and then drive away. He
Wait,
said, yeah,
So it's fully electric?
the car,
Yeah, how do you power the electricity though?
Thor.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, you didn't see the movie last night, so you
Big
wouldn't
part of
know.
the movie. Yeah, he's a big Tesla fan in that movie. So yeah,
He
that
gave
guy.
Natalie Portman twins.
That guy's probably still like searching online for solar powered cars to find ours, and he's like, I don't know where they got it from. It seems like they got the only one in the world.
no, I don't really think that he's doing that.
Guybone says, good luck when the sun goes out.
Right.
No driving at night here.
No.
All right, we got some stuff to talk about, but as usual, we got some stupid stuff to talk about. Very quickly, Nikki Hill had already asked. I figured we'd talk about it without spoilers. He asked what we thought of Thor. We had a day to process Thor: Love and Thunder. Any thoughts without spoilers? Anybody?
It was fun.
It was fun. I really liked it. Mom Brain.
You know what? I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and it was like just exactly what I needed after like a rough couple of weeks. Like
Oh,
it was sweet and fun, and it wasn't all fluff. There was a little bit of substance, but it wasn't anything. There wasn't a
Well,
whole lot on the line.
we were saying like it was without spoilers. It's very much not I don't want to say it's not high stakes, but not as high stakes as you've seen the MCU go before, which is fine because I think it was supposed to be a more personal story. But yeah, I really liked it. I said I'd put it in the middle of the pack for MCU movies. I'd give it an 8.5 if I was going to give it a number. Mom Brain, I think you're at the same spot. We went with Kirby. He seemed like he liked it. I think if anyone, he might have been the least into it, but I don't know. See, I talked to him last night about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but I thought which I thought he really liked. And then last night, he made it seem like he wasn't that into it. So I'm very confused now.
Really? When we got out of that movie, I thought he didn't like it, and then last night I thought he was liking it more.
That's what I thought.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I remember talking to him in the parking lot after Doctor Strange last time, and he was talking about how he really likes Sam Raimi and he likes all that stuff. And I was like, oh, well, then I get it. But last night he talked about it like he didn't like it. I was like, I don't know. So, but clearly we got the exact opposite impression. So I don't
as
know.
usual.
But anyway, yeah, we really liked Thor. I really enjoyed it. Deux had a really good point about the high stakes stuff. Like the stuff in the MCU right now is either you're getting introduced to new characters like Miss Marvel or Moon Knight and stuff like that. So that's exciting in and of itself because it's brand new characters. Or you get like the very high stakes stuff with characters that are established, like Loki or WandaVision, stuff like that. But then Thor, Love and Thunder, it's kind of in the middle where it comes to like urgency of what's going on and importance to the overall story. I think it's a stepping stone for whatever happens next. But it's a very self-contained movie, I feel like, for the most part. I guess we'll see where things go from here on out. But yeah, I really liked it. We all laughed a lot, I think. The acting was good. I really liked some of the set design. I liked the story. I got no complaints, really, other than it wasn't as high stakes. I guess that's it. I got no complaints. I really enjoyed it. So if you guys are going to see it, I hope you all enjoy it. I'm sure some of you have already and will soon. Hello, Tamakoto. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Giant Reggie. They say popping in quick to say hi to everyone, but I'll probably be listening to the full show later this week. And have a fun and safe trip, RMC, Mom, Brain, and family. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. I'm sure we will have a great time, and we'll update you on it next week. Anastasia Beaverhazen says, I'm tempted to go see Thor just for the booty. Well, the trailer might blur the booty, but the full movie does not. So you get the full booty in the movie if that's what you're going
Thor's
for.
Booty.
Thor's booty.
I mean, I guess I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil the booty for you, but
Sploosh.
Kaboom.
I don't know. I
Listen, you like weird guys and heftier men, so
wasn't
Thor's
juicy
butt's
enough.
not going to
Like
do it
that
for you.
Thor's
Yeah, I
butt
know.
would have done it. I like it. You know, it's a nice
Wasn't
tight.
juicy enough.
Yeah. So the classic like picture in my head that I have of like butts and like women sort of like objectifying men was my grandmother, who absolutely adored figure skating, and she would watch the men's figure skating, and she would like go like up to like the screen and be like, ooh, ooh, and she would like pinch at.
Wow.
She like loved a male figure
And those are
skaters.
not juicy butts.
They're
Those
not.
Are
They're
toned,
not, right?
Small
Like,
butts.
But Gami would have absolutely like that's her kind of butt. But I thought it was a little small.
I mean, it was a nice butt. I thought it was a nice butt.
I mean,
It was a far shot or a wide shot of it, so
I need up close.
Sure,
Yes,
it's- yeah.
Director's cut.
see, A Beaver
Director's
says
butt.
I haven't heard good things about the butt.
I need the director's butt. Hi, Rosemary the farmer.
I mean, it. I mean, look, he works hard on that ass. So
I
I'm
mean,
not.
He's the god of thunder, right?
Yes, Thunder Down Under.
Yeah, thunder's got to come from somewhere. It's from between those cheeks.
Wait, say that again. Thunder's got to come from somewhere, and then what'd you say?
Comes from between them cheeks.
Oh, I thought you said clapping those cheeks, which is also good.
I don't think he could clap those
The
cheeks.
thunderclap.
Yes, that's right. Rosemary the farmer says Freddie Fro and I are watching for a few while loading up Fortnite. We're rolling at this booty talk. Well, we could spend all day talking about booty. What we really need is my dad to talk about booty, because clearly he's not a butt man. Because after we found out, it was like she's a 10, but she's got a big butt, and we were like,
Button.
so she's 100. I don't understand. Rosemary the farmer says, personally wasn't disappointed by the thunder booty, but it was, may I say, brief. Oh,
Nice.
you know.
Lock the door and turn the lights
That's right.
down low.
Hello, Steel Diver. No, Steel Diver. The last episode was Saturday, regular day, so we're one day early. Or something I was going to say. Oh, it's nice to know that there's other people out there going on opening night to see the movies that we can talk to. But again, no spoilers. We'll talk more about it later down the road.
Is that the first butt in the MCU? Is that the first nudity?
It's not the first America's ass, but it is the first naked butt, I think. Yeah.
Spider-Man. No, it's just he's in his underpants.
I don't even remember that. Oh, when he's
Yeah.
walking out in his t-shirt.
How could you
No,
forget?
no. When in the most recent one, when him and MJ are in his room because they like came in and he's changing out of his outfit,
Yeah.
and and
He's in underwear.
Aunt what's her name?
Yeah, he's
walks
not
in,
naked,
Aunt May
yeah.
walks in. Right.
Underwear.
Yeah.
What's her name? Wow.
What?
Pikachu.
Oh,
Anyway.
Hulk booty in Ragnarok. Now that.
Oh, there you go.
See, that's more my speed.
That's a little bit bigger.
That's meaty.
I forgot. I forgot to say hello to the two other very important members of the podcast, Mr. Josh Grobot. How are you, my friend Josh? Sorry we're a day early, but we're glad you could join us.
I'm here to grace you with my presence.
We appreciate it every week. And
Hanging and banging.
also, of course, George. George, how are you this week? Feeling lime. You got something else to say, George?
No, thanks though. Appreciate you just introducing me.
Of course, I apologize for not
He
doing it
doesn't
sooner.
really particularly care to be in the limelight.
Oh, very good. All right. Got some other stuff I want to talk about. So last week, well, first off, I want to say thank you to the timestamp crew for the podcast because they are doing a fantastic job. And I've gotten so many emails from people saying thank you for the timestamps. So you guys wanted it, you got it. I'm doing none of it. It is a team of 5 people. They are doing it, rotating each week. So thank you so much to the timestamp crew. They're doing an awesome job. And each week, if you go to look at the timestamps, I leave a credit for the person who did the timestamps this week. So you will see the person for this week's show sometime tomorrow, probably. So again, thank you to those. And if you're not familiar with the timestamps, if you watch on YouTube, it'll be all done for you. As soon as I add it to the credit or to the comments, to the description, it'll do it for you. So you get the little pip marks. And if you want the audio only, you can find those on GoNintendo because the timing is a little bit different between the two. So we have timestamps for both versions if you're interested. All right. EA thing. I want to talk about this. So last week we talked about the EA Twitter thing and all that crap. Did you hear about what happened this week with the continuation of this Twitter story?
I don't think I did, actually.
This is great. So last week, very quick refresher. EA Tweeter, thank you. The Tweegle.
You can talk about
One of everybody's favorite part of the podcast. Last week, EA on Twitter took part in that trend where I just said it. She's a 10 or he's a 10, but, and then something that raises or lowers the score. EA said something along the lines of they're 10, but they only play single player games as a knock against single player games. The internet ate them alive, and they apologized in a way that was lame. So here's what happened. This week, USA Today, I believe it was, put out a feature on the turmoil behind the scenes because of this tweet. So the tweet went live, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with this app Slack, which is for companies, mostly for companies, where employees of the company all hop on the Slack to talk to each other in like a group chat and things like that. And you can, it's a work thing. But as soon as this tweet went live, Slack messages started pouring into EA's internal Slack, and developers were like, "What the hell's going on? Why would you send out this tweet?" And they're like, "Oh, here comes the backlash," and they were like chronicling all this stuff that people were saying online and negative sentiment. And an hour later, EA had realized like, oh, this is not going over well. This is not very good. So they decided to try and fix the tweet, I guess. And we found out more this week through USA Today. So apparently EA was like, how about this? How about we have all of EA's companies that are working on single player games dunk on EA on Twitter and like make fun of them? And then other people at EA were like, everybody already thinks the companies that work for us hate us. So that would just make things worse. Yeah. And they're like, oh, okay, not a good idea. So they went with the apology tweet and the one where they like kissed up the single player fans. And that went over bad as well. So it was just a big mess. But they've had a whole bunch of meetings since then because as I said last week, a whole bunch of companies under EA's umbrella that are making single player games lobbied arguments and what's the word I'm looking for? Complaints with them because they're like, we're slaving away on these single player games for you, and you go on Twitter and badmouth your single player games. Like, why the hell are we doing this? Why are you saying that? And this is the best part. We found out that EA's Twitter account is run by no one at EA and someone that doesn't even play video games. just somebody somewhere that does it for, that works for like some social media company or something. Manager. Yeah. So now we don't know the person's name, but it was confirmed they don't work for EA. Really? They don't play video games. Really? And they just farted out a tweet because it was about because it was about video games. They're like, oh, well, because they saw the trend and they're like, how could we work it into something for EA? And they're like, perfect. So I guess they thought EA only did multiplayer games, or they thought people hated single player games. I don't know, but it's just so great.
It's the stupidest story ever, and the fact that it's still going on. I mean, just cut your losses and get away from it at this point.
So
Just stop it.
These companies are making billions. And you think of the higher ups at the company, and they're having meetings about, like, we need to be on social media. Let's hire some random person that doesn't work at EA to handle our social media presence. Like, and everybody's like, great idea. Sounds great. Like, why couldn't you just hire someone at EA to do this?
You gotta wonder what they're even like. It leaves you with no hope for the future of the gaming industry in a way, because like you said, it's $1 billion company, and the way they're acting, it's like, did they trip and fall in $1 billion?
Yeah, right.
Like, how are they even
failing
functioning?
upwards, as they say?
Am I the only person who hears that tweet and thinks like, oh, she's a 10, but she only plays games with herself. She won't play with me. I don't want to date her if she's not going to play with me. Like,
no, I don't think you're the only one. You're the only one at this table.
Nothing about the people making games or the games themselves. It's just about like, oh, I'm in a relationship and she won't play games with me.
Well, I don't remember if they said she or they.
Or they. You know what I mean? I'm not trying like.
No. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying, like, I get how you're reading it, but yeah, I don't think the majority of people are reading it that way.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Like, I think that's what the person who doesn't even know what games are was probably saying, like, oh, you know, if anything, it's video gamers are so lame and they always need to play games, even if it's in a relationship. But, like, it's not a dunk or an attack on the games or the people who, I don't know. It's just, this is a great news story.
Well, whatever. Let's make this clear. We're not upset with the person who made the tweet. They got the job. They're doing their job. Are they doing a good job? No, but EA hired the company to do it. So, like, I'm not mad at the person. It's not like, you know, let's get them. It's not a situation of that. It's a situation of EA. How do you make video games and you can't find a single person to put out tweets that make sense? Like Sega has, Sega's Sega, but their social media presence is fantastic. They get people that know the brands and get the memes and the spicy memes, and they know how to work social media. It's just embarrassing that EA makes so much more money than Sega, and EA can't get. It's a Twitter account. It takes one person. Like, I don't understand. What's up, Mombri?
It's just birds, like a bunch of them, like 4 of them.
Hi, Mycrotic. Hi, there was someone else. I missed it. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's just, you know, one single tweet made such a crap storm for EA, and you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, it's also not the worst thing EA has done easily. It's just like one of those like smack your forehead kind of things where you're like, how does this happen? How are there no checks and balances? How do so many people not have any idea how to do their job? How is there no one at EA that, oh, I guess all the important people at EA are making games and like toiling away, and all the other, I don't know how these big companies work, but you're exactly right. Like, how are they doing stupid stuff like this that's so easy to avoid, and they've made it this far? So we'll see what happens.
That's how they did it.
That's Activision. That's Activision.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Just to be clear, don't want to accuse them. But remember, their own team decided that no wrongdoing was, and nothing wrong happened there, and everything was on the up.
Oh yeah, the Reggie excuse.
It's funny. There was a story about Reggie today. It might be a top story.
Good.
But it was
More
like
stories
Reggie,
about
something
Reg.
about the Wii U, and then it was like, and Reggie still believes in NFTs or something. And I didn't even report on that half of it.
Why do they have to do that?
I didn't even say anything about that part. I just let it go. Oh, hold on. I might have made a mistake. Oh, I can't. I'm
Dear
in trouble.
diary.
I'm in trouble. What am I going to
Today.
do?
Rami Cowboy made a mistake.
I did all my topics. Well, I guess go into news and we'll see. Sorry. It's a scheduling conflict.
I'd love to go.
As soon as that news thing comes up, it's my fault. It's my fault. Mom Brain, anytime you're ready.
I can't remember if it's.
Why I organized that based on what you wanted. There you go. Thanks, Mom Brain.
You're welcome.
Nikki Hill, you want to do me a favor? You probably got the site open, right?
I do not right now.
Okay. This is great.
I can open the site.
Sure. You want to go to top stories and look at the top story? Well, maybe I could tell you the top story and we can fumble through it together until I get this situated. It'll be a minute. The first
top news.
Yeah, the first one you're going for is
Pokemon.
It's not the top one. No, we go. This is such a mess.
From the bottom up.
Yes, it says Pokemon Company Remedies. That's the one that starts our first top story. You scroll down. Never been to GoNintendo before? These people.
I live with GoNintendo. I mean, how far down do I go? 7 days ago.
Yes, you're getting there. It's 4 days ago.
4 days ago. Pokemon Company Remedies. Pokemon, the game, the card game.
Yes.
TCG.
Trading card game, not the card
trading
game.
card game shortage by producing over 9 billion cards in 2022.
Wow, Mom Brain, tell us more about that.
Well, it's been a rough couple of years for Pokemon card game fans.
I love hearing you do this.
It's been actually really hard to find cards. So, and the Pokemon Company knows that, has been aware, and they promised to fix the situation. And it has come at a cost. They've spared no expense. So in a normal year, just for reference, so you guys, can frame this. In a normal year, Pokemon Company produces 1 to 2 billion. So you guys, can frame this. In a normal year, Pokemon Company produces 1 to 2 billion Pokemon cards. In 2022, they have already released over 9 billion cards. That's more than double 2021 when the Pokemon Company put out 3.7 billion cards. So it's very clear that the Pokemon Company wants to make sure that the fans definitely have an easier time tracking down the card packs that they want.
Thanks, Mom Brain. Everything's good now. I can take over. You did a pretty good job.
But did you know this is impacting the secondhand market?
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
She's liking this a little too much.
Yeah, so unfortunately, because we're now so flush with cards, it's impacting the pricing on the secondhand market. It's lowering the prices.
How much was a card worth recently before all this? Like at the peak of Pokemon cards, which was, I don't know, a few months ago. It was worth, I believe cards were worth 6 cents.
On the secondary market a couple years ago, but now they're worth 1.
So literally any card you had, no matter how bad of a Pokemon card it was, as long as it was in, good shape, you could get 6 cents for it. Not that long ago. Now, because they got so many more billions of cards, or what is it? Yeah, billions of cards out there, the value of any given card is a cent. Obviously, there's still cards that are worth millions alone. But if you have any deck of Pokemon cards, no matter how crappy the cards are, you can get a cent a card. So
how much does how
many are in a pack? I don't
and
know.
How much does a pack cost?
It's you're not going to make your money back on it, but still 6 cents a card is, considering how, some of the cards are extremely crappy.
Ooh, Retsu's is cutting into the Viennetta.
There, the pictures didn't. Man, that's a fancy looking one.
Is that mint?
It looks mint, doesn't it?
Oh, it looks mint. It does.
Watching us on the TV and eating Viennetta, if I could have a dream come true. Yeah.
You're watching us.
Try and keep that Viennetta down. So yeah, the Pokemon Company that's just crazy that they would do 1 to 2 billion cards a year, and this year they did 9 billion. This year, I think it might have been this fiscal year, so that's over, but let's say 2022. 9 billion cards. That's insanity, but that goes to show that Pokemon Company was like, man, people are having a lot of trouble finding these cards. We have to spend a lot more money to get a lot more cards out there to hopefully get things back in order. And that's what I want to say that's what they did. I'm not going to say that's what they're doing because things are better, but they're still not perfect. But this stuff will get more into the secondary market and people will get the cards that they want and all that. So things will calm down. But Pokemon is not a fad. I remember when the anime came out and I would watch in the morning before school and I was like, this is a really cool idea. And then I got the Game Boy game and I wasn't a big RPG player and I was like, this is actually really fun. And that didn't we go to see the first Pokemon movie together?
Yeah.
And we were in high school.
And people were dressed up and
Yeah.
yeah.
There was a line out the door of the theater. I was like, this is a big deal.
I feel like we went like after school.
Yeah, I remember going. I was going to say I probably cut detention and you drove me to see the Pokemon movie. But we both cried during that movie.
Yeah.
It's got a very famously sad part. So, but yeah, I remember back there was like a Time magazine article.
Oh my God.
That was like the Pokemon trend or the Pokemon fad. When will it end? Or the Pokemon fad's coming to a close. Yep.
Look,
Here we
kids
are.
were playing with Pokemon cards like at recess this year. Like, outside they were bringing their binders full.
My cousin's kid, she's a camp counselor or whatever it is. I don't know. She's watching Kids at Camp, and she said kids at camp right now are trading Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They got those big cards.
Yeah, right.
They're like the size
How
of like a
cool are
coloring
those?
book. They're very cool.
Yeah.
Mm. That's got to be worth more than 1 cent.
Yes, more than one. Yes. All right, moving on. Another top story. This one's about big sales. Monster Hunter Rise just saw the Sunbreak DLC launch, and that's like a very meaty DLC release. It's like at least half of another game, I would say, and more stuff is to come for that DLC. And that helped push Monster Hunter Rise up to a new level of success. Monster Hunter Rise, as of this past week, across the Switch and PC versions, because that's the only place you can get the game, has sold 10 million copies around the world. So a console exclusive on Switch, Monster Hunter has managed to sell 10 million copies. Again, that's split between PC and Switch, but more weighted towards Switch. Then along with that, Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, the expansion, only came out on June 30th. And that has already sold over 2,000 copies. Or I'm sorry, 2,000. What am I saying? 2 million copies. So 2 million copies in less than a week. I guess it was 6 days at that point when I reported it. So people were very eager to get that content. And it just, again, goes to show that Monster Hunter World really was that breakthrough moment for the Monster Hunter franchise outside of Japan. And now the series is extremely popular around the world. 2 million downloads of an expansion in less than a week. That's insanity. I have
fed up with this world.
I've still yet to play Monster Hunter Rise, and I really like Monster Hunter. I was going to play it with Lube, but then Lube pulled the old Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on me, and he played it all on his own. So
You just said
Did he
Monster
really?
Yeah,
Rise, but it sounded like Monster Hunter Eyes, and it made me think of like Betty Davis Eyes, and then I just went down a whole like brain wormhole for a second.
yeah, that's Capcom remade that song for Monster Hunter. Yes. Now Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, we played the whole game together, and I beat the final boss. Lube played literally all of Monster Hunter Rise without me. So there's that. I have no one to play it with. Mom Brain, you want to play?
You got 10.
Sure.
You got 10 million people out there that downloaded it that want to play with you.
It's not the same. Nintendo continues to face supply chain issues with the Switch. The Switch is, Mom Brain, how old is the Switch, roughly? Feel free to play that millionaire music.
Ooh. Okay.
Ba-da-bum, bum, ba-da-bum. There we go.
Switch is 6.
The Switch is 6 years old, you say?
Yeah. Price is Right rules.
Final answer?
Yes.
And that music. The Switch is 5 plus. So you're close, but
5 plus how
you
many?
said Price is Right
I know,
rules.
it's Price
So
is
it came
Right.
out March. So that'd be April, May, June, July. So 5 years and 4 months. So sorry. But you were close.
Mhm.
You said Price is Right rules, though. So, yes, 5 plus years. And this far into the system's lifespan, Nintendo's still having problems getting enough Switch units out there. Now, a lot of that is, or a good portion of that is related to raw materials, because those are in high demand right now and very hard to get because of the pandemic, and it screwed up mining and all the other processes that need to happen to get that stuff. So
Switch
what?
mining. They dig the switches out of.
That's right. We got another one, boys.
Yeah.
So
There's like a mountain in Japan near Nintendo's headquarters, and
So that's how Nintendo gets all their systems. They just keep going a level down. Man, they dug up the Wii U. They should have kept digging for after that.
yeah. Well, that was like an offshoot.
Guys, we hit a switch level, a switch
Yeah.
vein. There's a switch vein.
Yeah.
Well, they dug down and there's switch units down
Escape
there, but
from Switch Mountain.
not enough to get for what people want anyway. So Nintendo's trying to get these raw materials, but every other company and every other tech company in the world is going after these too. Sony and Microsoft for their systems, mobile phone companies. There's something else I'm forgetting. Computer companies, all of them. They're all using some of the same components like that make Bluetooth elements and wireless technology and all that stuff. It all goes into the same. All these materials go into a whole bunch of products. So Nintendo's trying to secure enough raw materials to make them, but they can't keep up with demand. It's particularly hurting Japan as of right now. The Switch has sold 33% fewer units during the April to June quarter in Japan than it did a year ago. And again, numbers. This is because of supply chain issues, as confirmed by investors or analysts and Nintendo themselves. Nintendo actually made a statement on the matter, and they say shortage of chip materials is having an impact on production. And they said the outlook is uncertain. They are trying to get...
Sounds like a Magic 8-Ball.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They're trying to get more of the raw materials. They have spent a lot of money to secure this stuff, but they have to get it through different refining processes in different companies, and they make deals with other companies. They're like, hey, you got 2 million tons of this stuff. You really only need 1 million. How about you give the million us and we'll give you this much money? And the company's like, all right, we could work a deal here. So that's the wheeling and dealing that's going on right now. So if you're having trouble finding the Switch in your area, now you know why. When it comes to
business the same way I saw stuff in like Ozark and stuff.
I haven't seen it. Is that true, Deux?
I couldn't hear what you said, Nikki.
Never mind.
Ozark. It's like Ozark.
Well, I heard that part, but I didn't know how it related to Ozark.
Procuring
It
materials.
sounds like they're getting their business model from Ozark. I didn't say that, but now I am.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I don't remember them mining for like problem diamonds.
No, it's a drug. It's a narcotics related thing where people take from other people and then they sell that product and then they screw other people out of other stuff. It was a joke. It didn't land. What's next in the news?
Now, Nikki, nothing makes a joke funnier than having to explain it. Would you like to go further? It's my fault. I kept it going. So anyway, when it comes to the States, if you're having trouble finding the Switch, that most likely means you live somewhere in the Midwest, because the middle of the country, particularly the Midwest, they're having a lot of shortages there. And obviously more rural areas in general are having shortages as too. If you're on the coast, you should be okay. I've seen Switch units in stores here, but there's like 2 or 3. There's not like a ton. And I see an Xbox Series S or X pop up every once in a great while. I saw PlayStation 5s at launch, but they were gone within a week. So I don't think I've seen any since then. But everybody's hurting when it comes to this stuff. It's hard to get the stuff that they need. Joe Shabadoo says, love how the company rep gave a Magic 8-Ball response. There you go.
Oh,
that's
wow.
exactly right. Maybe that's what they did. Like, who did this? It was like the Wall Street Journal or Nikkei or somebody. They reached out to Nintendo for comment. They just shook a Magic 8-Ball and they're like, outlook not so good. What do we got here? We are going to talk about this because we can just do 2 in 1. So there's this thing. There's people who follow Nintendo even more closely than I do. They watch every minute move that Nintendo makes, and they're like extrapolating data from it. And they're like, this means this is going to happen. And that's exactly what happened this past week. Nintendo privated the Switch OLED model reveal trailer, as long with another Switch-related trailer, like just for hardware. They both went private, disappeared. And there's a whole bunch of people not a whole bunch, there's a select few online who are like, whenever Nintendo does this, they are announcing a new Switch. And I'm like, I have seen this trend before. So I reported on that rumor. And people are like, this isn't happening. And other people are like, oh, yeah, this happened before. I've seen it happen over the, 18 years I've covered Nintendo. I've seen it happen. So I was like, yeah, it's true. It seems like these things correlate. I'll put the rumor out there. Then Kit Ellis, who used to work at Nintendo, of Kit and Krista, that guy, he went on Twitter, because he can talk about this stuff now. And here's what he said. He said, these major videos typically have music or actors which are licensed for a year, then need to be renewed or taken down. Switch OLED was announced a year ago tomorrow. This is most likely nothing. That's what Kit said. And I was like, well, I'll share Kit's statement because he worked at Nintendo and he's in the know. So we put out Kit's statement, and then the next day a new Switch was announced.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's not like a complete revamp, but it was a new version of the Switch. So now I don't know what to believe. I'm like,
What's new? This just happened this week. What's new about this?
It's a Splatoon 3 edition Switch OLED.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
So
It looks cool. But it's no big deal. It's the same system.
Yeah, it's another version of the OLED, but still, it was a new Switch reveal. It falls in line with the trailers. So I was like, when Kit put out his statement, I was like, well, that's it. He used to work at Nintendo. And now I'm like, well, he's wrong. So next time when this inevitably happens, I'll be like, remember, here's what a Nintendo employee said, but here's what happened last time. So
yeah, pretty legendary, huh, Kit?
He didn't say, don't knock poor Kit.
No, it's the same kind of thing. You know, he said, you know, his version of this show is going to be legendary was, you know, this happens all the time. The trademark's running out or something.
Wait a minute. So Reggie, in your opinion, was trying to pump up something for nothing, and Kit was trying to make sure expectations were tempered by saying this is nothing, but it was something.
Exactly.
And you dislike both of them.
Well, no, I have nothing wrong with Kit. It was more of a reason to get at Reggie.
Okay.
Comment.
I got you.
It's similar enough where I can bring it
yeah,
up.
You're right. You're right. I just wanted to make sure Kit wasn't getting it too, because if anything, he tempered expectations and was wrong. But anyway, the most upvoted comment was removed, because I'm sure someone was like, "This is nothing. I can't believe you post this stuff." Well, here we are. You know, because everybody's like, "Is this going to be a Switch Pro?" I'm not getting involved in that conversation. Just the trailers were yanked. Something might be coming. That's what happened. Which is exactly why we shared another rumor that we shared later this week. But yes, the Switch OLED Splatoon 3 edition. Hot damn, is this a nice looking Switch? I don't feel the pull to get
Not gonna
these
lie,
things.
I'm sweating a little bit.
I am, but this one is really, I mean, you gotta like Splatoon, but this one's really nice. It's got a white and gray Switch dock with a whole bunch of Splatoon iconography on it and graffiti, and it's got an ink splat right on the front. And then the Joy-Cons are really nice. They're like, again, they have the same iconography on them, but they also have, they're like two-tone but faded. So it's like blue faded to purple and yellow faded to green. I mean, look at that. That's a nice set of Joy-Cons right there.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah.
So again, not a special Switch in that it does anything different, but it is a special Switch for the Splatoon fans, just like the Animal Crossing was a special Switch for the Animal Crossing fans. This comes out August 26th, 2022, and that is just 2 weeks before Splatoon 3 comes out. So Splatoon 3 is September 9th, 2022. And as always, which is crappy in my opinion, this does not include the game. So if you want to get the game, you got to buy that separately.
Yeah, it seems like it should come with the game.
Yeah, Nintendo never does that, or I should say hardly ever does that. They make a special edition of the system and you have to also buy the game separately. Give me like two options, one with just the Switch and one with the game and the Switch. Like, I don't know why they don't do that.
Because who's going to buy? I mean, I guess people will buy it anyways because they're not available readily. But like, who would buy a Splatoon Switch and be like, I'm not interested in the game. I just I like the Joy-Cons.
Exactly. If anything, people would want it to be a physical copy because they want the game box for Splatoon as well. But yeah, the chances of somebody, that'd be a me move, and it's very rare. Let's say I had no interest in Splatoon and I went to go buy a Switch and they're like, "Oh, we got us the Splatoon one." I'd be like, I don't care. Just give me the Switch. But I know I'm in the minority on that. But there you go. Coming out August, whatever I said, August 26th. Popple says, crying because a fantasy they completely dreamed up with no basis in reality didn't come true. This community is insufferable. I'm guessing this means about Switch Pro. I'm going to go with Popple's other comment. This just may get me to update for my Animal Crossing edition that I bought when that launched. This looks too nice. It is nice. It's a really nice one. Again, I think it's great that Nintendo put these out there, and I know fans eat up hardware themes. It's not my kind of thing, but man, this one's really nice. Along with that, they're also doing a Switch or a Splatoon 3 Switch carrying case and a Splatoon 3 Switch Pro controller. So if you want a Switch Pro controller, which has Splatoon iconography, a neon greenish yellow grip, and a blue grip, that's coming out on September 9th, so launch day with the game. And then there's the Switch carrying case as well, same icons on there. So there you go, lots of Splatoon stuff. They're giving it quite the send off later this year, which is great to see.
Do you have a picture of that Pro controller?
I sure do. 1 second, I was just looking at
and
it.
It's an official Nintendo Pro.
Official
controller?
Nintendo, first party.
Oh God,
Pro controller.
That's not as cool as I thought it would be.
That's usually how they do them on the Switch. I guess they go with just the grips to mimic the Joy-Con. I don't like that look either, but Pro controller's great.
Yeah, it's the best controller ever. I feel like they're it's getting the short end of the customization stick, but what are you gonna do?
It would be great to have that controller with those icons on it, but like all one color, or do the full color fade like they did with the two other Joy-Con. I don't know how things work. I guess it's easier to put the two grips and make them different colors than it is the base. I don't run Nintendo, but I agree. I wish they would do something different than just two grip colors. This is a big story, and it's an important story for the table. I feel like I should do ads. Josh, honey.
A big hello to my fans.
Josh, I know it's 15 minutes earlier than usual, but would you mind throwing us to commercial, please?
No, not at all.
Wow.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Josh, I usually expect some pushback from you. I wasn't ready. Thank you, Josh.
Need some adventure in your life? What Mad Universe is a podcast where two guys delve into the history of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, and the impact it's had on pop culture.
Everything's the same politically, but we have ray guns.
The actual motive isn't to explore something that's quote scientifically possible,
but neither is Star Wars, and I know there's arguments about that, but I would definitely consider Star Wars science fiction.
You haven't read Dune.
No, I haven't.
You can never be the Kwisatz Haderach.
What Mad Universe on the HyperX Podcast Network.
Take a time machine back to before the world went to hell, around the year 2000.
The 80s and 90s were so rad. The movies, the music, the TV, the games, that's what I want to talk about.
If you're cool enough,
join us and listen to Less Than 2000, because that's all we talk about.
Adam and Chad live
Less Than 2000. Now part of the HyperX Podcast Network.
That guy's voice in the beginning is so good.
I was gonna say, did they get like the cameo of like the movie trailer guy?
I'm gonna play
something?
just that guy again.
Take a time machine back to before the world went to hell.
That's a great voice.
Yeah, it's really great.
All right, we got another ad. We got our live read. You know, I should name this a different name so I know what the damn song is. Oh, there we go. All right. As is the theme now, ad read. Guys, Prime Day is coming. Has anybody looked at Prime Day stuff? I've heard this isn't like a bit. I've heard there's really good deals on all kinds of stuff, because last year was kind of a bummer from what I remember.
I've always felt like it was kind of a bummer.
Well, not this year, baby, because if you check out the HyperX store on Amazon.com, you'll find great Prime Day deals on July 12th and 13th. Stock up on the latest gaming gear from HyperX, so you'll be ready for all new launches and content that drops this summer. Mark your calendars and set your alarms. Deals like this won't be around too long. Yeah, for a while there, I'll fade this out. For a while there, it seemed like Prime Day was kind of a bummer, but I've seen a whole bunch of articles. You know, it might just be people pumping it up and it's not good. Yeah, but I've seen people saying, oh, the deals this time around are actually pretty good. So I might have to, I guess Prime Day's 12th and 13th. I don't know.
You just read the thing.
Yeah, right?
Prime usually happens when we're in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So I guess that's true.
I guess I'll have to look this year and see.
Check out the HyperX store on Amazon.com.
A lot of times I'll be like, ooh, look at all these deals. And then I'll put a bunch of stuff in my cart, and then I'll look at the cart and I'll be like, I don't need any of this stuff. Like I just put it in there because there was a deal.
Yes, the HyperX store on Amazon, my Chronic. It's true. Malik Halo, I'm glad you appreciate my ad plug. Thanks to Deux starting that trend. It's one of my favorites. I wrote in all capital letters for myself today, ad plug, just to make sure that I did it. All right. It's
pretty unprofessional.
His prayers have been answered. It was the week that Deux Michaels has been waiting for.
Oh yes, my prayers were answered.
Oh my God!
I'm telling you,
the Wii and DSi.
Oh my God!
The Wii and DSi shops are back online. Deux Michaels can now get all of his old content that he was very upset about, deservedly so, a couple weeks ago. But yes, so they disappeared. These services went offline unexpectedly without an announcement back in March. We had to get until the beginning of the first week of June, July 6th, and they came back online. I stopped working to hardwire my Wii that's hooked up in the office to hop on and see if the shop came up, and it did. And I was like, holy crap, they're really back. So, Deux, you now have all of your games back. They're all ready for you to play. Oh, you're going to take that? Wait, did you take that home already or yesterday? Or?
Oh yeah, I've been playing. I played about 6 or 7
Whoa.
games already, like 5 minutes of each game. But I was just
well,
like a kid in a candy store.
Well, I guess we'll talk about that later. But yes, how happy are you that they're back?
I'm really, really happy. Yeah, I appreciate your patience and putting up with my complaining all this time. But I should have believed you. I did believe you. I don't want you to think I didn't believe you, but like
just miffed.
Why didn't you believe me?
It was just because we didn't have any answers, and it was so mysterious. And I felt naked and alone. Without meaty cheeks.
Nobody knew what was going on. So when I probably shouldn't. You know what? I don't care. I'm just going to talk about it. As you guys know, when the site was gone and I was away for a while, when I came back, we don't have reviews like we used to for early embargo stuff when it comes to first party. And that's because, unfortunately, I missed out on, let's call it an opportunity. So timing worked out extra bad on my part. And I'm working to get that opportunity again. And that's all the specifics I can give on that, which sucks, but it is what it is. We'll see if we can get back there one day. But usually when I email my rep for Nintendo, she is very timely. Emails back like within a day, which, I say I email people back in like an hour, but they're talking to a million people. And when it comes to PR people, you're like, well, I'll email them and hopefully I get something by the end of the month. That's just the way PR people work. So she's fantastic. But I emailed her a few days ago and I was like, hey, the shop channels still aren't up. And it's been a whole month since Nintendo's last statement. Can you get me another statement? And I got radio silence from her. And I was like, something's going on because that doesn't happen. And I was like, I'll give her one more day and then I'll email again. And the next day they came back online. So I emailed her and I was like, if you could give me a statement as to why they're back, that'd be great. And then she got back to me like 2 hours later. I was like, okay, something's going on. So they must have. So I'm guessing, I'm speculating that they knew it was coming back and they weren't talking about it. But now that it's back, they're probably just hoping like.
Or it could have been you.
It wasn't.
She read the email and was like, "Oh my God,
they're down.
We forgot."
She reached across her desk and flipped the switch, and she's like, "Oh, here you go."
Perfect.
I wish.
She's like, I'll wait a day just so it's not awkward.
He'll never know. Yeah.
Yeah. So you did it. Thanks, man.
I think what, like I said, I'm trying to get a statement on what happened, an explanation, and like details on if there's any time we can expect where these will be shut down permanently. I don't know if they'll give me that statement because I'm expecting Nintendo to just be like, well, we put them back online and everybody's going to be happy. Let's just fade away and pretend this never happened. So I don't know what it is, but I'm trying to get that comment for you guys. We'll see what happens. Yes? Shaking? Yeah, sorry. Wrong leg. So that was my third leg. So it's back. Yes, they're back.
Your third leg is
now, that's right. If you have any DSiWare, or WiiWare or Virtual Console stuff that is on those systems and you haven't re-downloaded it yet, do yourself a favor. Don't take the position of waiting because this random occurrence happened and people couldn't get their games for 3 months. Go on and get everything you want now. Dump it all onto an SD card or a micro SD card, whatever it is. just so you have everything and then you won't have to worry about it, because you don't want to go to play something like Dude did and he can't get in and play anything. So take the time. I'm not going to lie, depending on how much you have, it's going to take a while because you have to download individually and you have to activate each one individually. You can't stack downloads like a system can today. So it takes a while, but it's better to have them than to spend the money and they disappear forever. So again, Nintendo will give a formal announcement as to when these services are officially ending, and they will do it far in advance of when that happens. So you'll have a good amount of time to get in there and get everything. But now we know the shops are up. They were down. Strike now, get your stuff, and then don't worry about it in the future. So there you go. It's back, everybody.
Not gonna happen.
And Bashi says, good to know that they put those raw materials they ordered to immediate use. That's what they were doing. We talked about it last week. All that money they spent on new raw materials, they needed them for virtual console stuff. Can I get the drum roll? I'm going to guess that's the first page, alphabetical order.
No.
No, really?
No.
All right, give me any sound effect. I don't care. Fall Guys in 2 weeks has hit 50 million players. 50 million people around the world have fallen time and time again while trying to get to the goal. After the first 2 days of going free to play, the game reached 20 million users around the world, and just 2 weeks after that, it's at 50 million players. So that's 50 million cross-platform players enjoying the game free to play. So their servers are getting slammed. 50 million people playing. Now, obviously, that's not concurrent, but Jesus, even if you take a third of that concurrent, that's a lot of people playing at the same time. So I'm going to guess we're going to see a 75 million mark by the time July's done, at the way that things are going, or at least 70 million. Yeah.
You think it's that popular? People like playing that?
I mean, it's free.
Well, yeah, the free part, but like even free games after a while, unless it's Fortnite, kind of dip off, right? Or
they normalize, but we're in the beginning of free to play, so it's going to be, I'd say at least the first half of the year you're going to like the Switch game Ninjala just hit a new milestone for its total downloads. So people still download stuff even when it's free years later, but yeah, it'll slow. Concurrent players is where it'll really slow. I don't know how many concurrent players there are in Fortnite. I want to say like 3 to 5 million concurrent on any given day. And Apex Legends has roughly, I'm guessing, 1 million to 2 million concurrent, something like that. Call of Duty really fell off. I know that. But yeah, the hype's there. The game's, what the hell's this? The hype's there. The game is free. People are like, yeah, why not? I'll go. It's cross-platform. You can play with other people. Yeah, it's just the way it's been opened up and so many different options is pulling people in. We have a rumor. Very happy with the image I used for this rumor this week because it's about Switch speculation, and I used my favorite fortune teller from Skyward Sword. Awesome. Love that guy. Now this is a guy with a juicy butt.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Tasty.
So this rumor came out because of no. Let me all right. So this I'll give you my exact train of thought. Switch rumor comes out about the trailers getting yanked, and that usually means that a new Switch is getting revealed. And I was like, here we go again, man. All right, I'll run the rumor. I'll mark it as rumor, word it carefully. I did that. Put Kit's statement in there later on in the day. Then the next day, Splatoon 3 edition Switch OLED is announced. And I'm like, well, there it is. It was true. That's the end of that story. And a day later, something else comes out. So there's this guy, but it's not just any guy. He's a leaker. His most recent leak that he got correct was the Splatoon 3 OLED model Switch. He accurately leaked that was getting announced. So he knew. I don't believe which is what much of the internet says. But yes, he has a track record that most recently has proven true. He's back. And he says Nintendo is not done with hardware reveals yet. He says they have another Switch reveal, and it is coming sometime in September, according to him. What would it be? I don't know. But they're obviously, it's tough Because if they do have another hardware reveal, you're going to be like, you just revealed the Splatoon 3 themed Switch. And let's say you announce a Switch Pro. I am not saying that's what they're doing. This is just for conversation. I'm saying, let's say, hypothetically, they announce a Switch Pro. You're like, oh, well, they just cannibalize sales of the Splatoon 3 edition. Like, why would people buy that now? Are they really only going to give the system a few weeks to
I wouldn't have a problem
run without opposition as like the newest Switch? Because if people hear a Switch Pro or a Switch OLED Lite or whatever is coming out, it's going to hurt the sales of that system. So that's the part that I'm a little fishy on. But if it's another themed Switch, maybe. I don't know. You know, what you got? A Pokemon themed Switch? Sure, put that out there. That makes sense. But he says a reveal is coming in September. In my article, I wrote the sentence, do you believe in the leaker or are you calling bull on all of this? And Currybo says, definitely bull. One rumor doesn't pan out, so time to move on. They're like people who predict the world is going to end. Well, I mean, I don't know what rumor. Oh, they're talking about, you're saying Switch Pro. Yeah, Switch Pro rumor has not panned out. That is certainly true. And Currybo is on team move on.
We don't need a Switch Pro. We need a Wind Waker Switch. I would buy another Switch if they did that.
We don't need a better Switch. We need the same Switch, just in Zelda themed. Maybe. Who knows? Wind Waker themed? Probably not.
It
no.
wouldn't be, but
Breath of the Wild themed? Sure. That's what they could announce in September for 2023. Like say that a Switch themed for Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out. Yeah. I wanted so badly now to just think of a made-up title for the game that was going to be really bad and see how you reacted to it. And I'd be like, no, they announced that as the name, but I couldn't think of anything.
I appreciate you not being able to think of anything.
So yeah, you know, the Switch is getting long. And let's be honest, as far as technology goes, the Switch was long in the tooth when it came out. It's not the most cutting edge in technology, but it does what it needs to do. And it captured a major audience. So yeah, there are games that would perform better, you know, frame rate and resolution wise if there was a more powerful Switch. But it's you know, should they do a Switch Pro that does that? That's like a half step, but still plays all Switch games, or should they just go all in on Switch 2?
Sure,
it's like,
whatever.
How much later do you want to do a Switch 2? Because or a Switch Pro, I'm sorry, because Switch is 5+ years now. Do you want to do a Switch Pro that's basically just a somewhat souped up Switch that plays Switch games in the 6th year of the system?
No, not at all.
I don't think you do. I think you hold out till year 7 and then you're like Switch 2. Backwards compatible with Switch, and then really Nintendo.
We just have to
That's
wait
right, Josh.
and
Josh,
see.
you're so wise. I just want Nintendo to do a Switch 2 this time. That's all that I want. Like, I love the form factor of the Switch. It obviously resonated with hundreds of millions of people. I think if they did a Switch 2 that had, you know, more better processing power, blast processing, maybe just, you know, better visuals and stuff like that overall, I think people would be very happy with that. I know probably Nintendo would not be happy with that because they haven't done that kind of move in a very long time. You know, there's room for innovation in the controller. You could do something else with the Joy-Con, certainly. That would be good. I don't know. You know, I have to, like, if Iwata was still alive and he was president, I don't think he would want to do Switch 2 because he'd be like, that goes against our push for innovation. And Wii U led to Switch. Wii U was a terrible time for Nintendo, but it led to the Switch. Do they rest on their laurels and go Switch 2? And I don't even like saying resting on their laurels because that's not really the case. But I don't know. Is it time for Nintendo to do a follow-up system that's literally just a more powerful version of what we just got? I don't know. How would you feel about that?
I don't know. See, like I would want a new system if they stopped putting out great games. But there's still great games coming out. We've got perhaps the maybe the greatest game coming out next year for it. I feel like that would be the swan song, or maybe they're going to do what they've done in the past where it's like, oh, here's Breath of the Wild 2, but it's also going to be on the new system, Switch 2.
I'm sure See, they can't. They've been saying the Switch is at the halfway point of its lifespan. I don't believe that. I think it's at like the 2/3 point of its lifespan. And if you're gonna do a Breath of the Wild on Switch 2, I don't know. I guess it's a good predicament to have because you're like, this is so successful, and we've been doing great. But now, how do we continue that success? Do you do a half step for Breath of the Wild, and then 2 years down the road, do an official next console? I don't know. I don't know. Not my problem. Well, hi, Tarsius. Tarsius has got the answer. He says, just skip to Switch 3. There you go. Don't even worry about it.
I have spoken.
There you go. That's a great idea. Ice Dilbert says Switch Sheikah Slate edition. That would be really cool. Now that's an idea. Cool. And the poor Sheikah Slate, I mean, that sucker was built to look like the Wii U gamepad. Thankfully, the Switch still kind of looks like that, but the Wii U lives on.
I don't think we need to feel bad for the Wii U.
Well, what do you mean? We got to feel terrible for the Wii U.
You've got one, and you've got all the games you need for it. It's over. Let's move on and forget.
Rise from your grave.
Says the man that was playing it this week.
Yeah, I was playing it, and I was like, what the heck? I was like, this is what I wanted to go back to?
Yeah, I feel really bad for the Wii U. The controller... the idea of the Wii U is certainly interesting, but people wanted that on the go, not 6 feet away from their TV. And the controller was very big. And just people didn't know it wasn't an accessory for the Wii. I mean, I feel bad for Nintendo. I certainly do, but I will never
feel bad for the Virtual Boy. That's what you should feel bad for.
You know what? I didn't know this. I knew it sold very poorly, but to put things in perspective, the Wii U sold like 13.4 million units. The Virtual Boy didn't even sell 1 million. They killed it before it got to 1 million. It was like 700,000 plus or something like that. So, but like, you know, the Virtual Boy, I feel bad for, but I get it. You got to stick your face in it. It's only black and red. It's not comfortable. Like, I get it. The Wii U, yeah, a glonky controller. But like you can still sit there and play it, and they still had a Wii U Pro controller. Like it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, I feel bad for both, but I definitely get it when it comes to the Virtual Boy. Hi, Coma, good to see you.
I think we need the glonky guy on the soundboard.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Feel pretty glonky. All right, moving on. This can't be a top story I did. It's not. So we're not going to do it. Nope. Lego. Nikki Hill, did you see this thing?
Yes. I don't know if I'll buy it. It's a pretty steep price. But...
It is. But holy moly, this is cool. Monbrain or Deux, have you seen this thing? The new Nintendo Lego announcement?
No.
The partnership between Lego and Nintendo has been very profitable for both, and it continues with their latest and largest offering, a 2,807-piece Lego Bowser.
Ooh.
Lego Bowser is humongous.
Wow.
It comes out on October 1st, 2022. It is a whopping $270.
Man.
But it is a Bowser with they got a whole promo video of it. I mean, like, look, he's pretty big.
Bowser has a juicy
He's
peach.
got a juicy butt, yeah.
And
He's got a juicy peach, all right. Hey,
do they have a Lego Bowsette?
No, they don't. And I don't think they ever will. Seeing
Tasty.
Square will
It's
put
not a
out
real-
a Lego, love doll Aerith, but we can't get any Bowsette. What's wrong with that?
Remember, Bowsette is
It's unofficial.
Yeah, unofficial. So Link It Up says, this looks amazing and I want it yesterday, but that price is painful. I didn't know how expensive Lego stuff was until Nintendo did Lego stuff because I went out to buy some and I was like, oh, Nintendo and Lego are really charging for this sucker. And then I looked at everything else Lego and I was like, oh, wait, it's just everything Lego is expensive.
Well, you could get a new Switch or you could get these
Right?
stupid blocks you put together to look like some character from the 80s.
You could literally get a Switch Lite and have money left over, or you could get a Bowser, yeah, or a used Switch. I'm sure you could get for $250, yeah, without a doubt. But yes, $270. I love Legos. I think they're a great idea. Obviously, they're extremely popular. I just had no clue until recent years that they were that expensive. So you are playing.
If they weren't for children, I mean, they can be for adults, but like if they weren't in the child market, they wouldn't be that expensive because they know parents are going to buy whatever for their kids.
Hello, Super Sanchez. Sorry you didn't get a notification. I'll reach out to you directly next time. Anastasia Beaverhausen says, I'm marrying Bowser. Okay, well, he's always looking for a girlfriend, and Peach doesn't want to be it, so you could be his whatever you want to call it.
Bowsette.
His Bowsette, sure. So yeah, October 1st, something like that. All right, now we're doing it. North America. What do we got in North America this week, me? Let me tell you. We got a game called Accident. Just Accident. Airborne Motocross. Alien Engine. Amazing Lumo. Arcade Archives Soldier Girl Amazon. Arcade Archives Thunder Scepter. Automaton Lung. Bassmaster Fishing 2022, the Super Deluxe Edition. I'll take the Deluxe. Best of Merge, Volume 2. Box to the Box. Capcom Fighting Bundle. Color Breakers. Coloring Book Bundle for Kids. That has 140 different drawings for you in it to color. Cursed Island. Cyber Engine. Escape Game. Fort Boyard 2022.
Fort Boyard D.
That's some game show in Europe, I believe. Here's one that Nikki Hill, I believe, was somewhat interested in. Fist, Forged in Shadow Torch. It's the Metroidvania steampunk with like anthropomorphic bunnies and possums and raccoons and stuff.
Oh yeah, he's interested.
Looks fun. I'm excited to check it out. Nikki Hill, is that true?
Yeah, it's kind of side-scrolling, right? But
yeah.
It's got like 3D rendered backgrounds or whatever.
Yeah, it's a 2.5D Metroidvania. Yeah, and I've read really good things about it. But now it's coming out on Switch very soon. July 12th in particular.
10% off too or right now it's 10% off, $26.99.
Yeah, launch deal.
Detailed, yeah.
Yeah, there is a physical version coming out. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There is a physical version coming out.
Did you read the description of Box to the Box by any chance?
I didn't, but I'd love to hear
it. You want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay. The box is running. The box follows after the box. The box follows after the box after the box. The box follows after the box after the box after the box.
I don't want to hear this anymore.
After the box after the box. Anyway, the box follows after the box. The reason why the box runs are to escape. That's what they say. That's all it says.
Oh, okay.
Day one.
Formula.
I didn't write it. That's actually.
Who wrote it? Formula Bit Racing DX, Galactic Pioneer, Gangsta Magic, Ghost Runner Complete Edition. How funny is that? 2 weeks ago we were talking about Ghost Runner and we couldn't remember the name, and now the Complete Edition is coming out. Japanese Nekosama Escape the Local Train. So cats escaping a local train. Oh baby, one near and dear to my heart. You know, I don't know what to say. Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series. That is the first and the second Klonoa games, remastered, remade, whatever you want to call it, for the Switch. Bandai Namco said, you know, they did the old thing that they usually do. Oh, you want a new Klonoa? We hear you. You know how you could make a new Klonoa happen? Buy this collection. I really want a new Klonoa. We've had spin-offs that were all great. But we've only had 2 numbered games, the first and the sequel. Klonoa looks so cutesy and has such dark stories that are so sad. And the games are 2.5D platforming, and I love that. I love the character design of Klonoa. So if any part of your dark heart wants to have a new Klonoa and you got the money to spare, then buy this collection. Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series. Out today. Kroot, The Mythic Wings. Little Nightmares 1 and 2 bundle. Moonrise Fall. My Experience Story Number 1, The Curious Case of the Headless Magnate. Over Rogue. Puzzle Cube, Magic Urbic Game. Railways. That's enough, my brain. Real Car Driving Simulator and Parking 2022 games. Road of Death. Secrets of Magic 4, Potion Master. 60 Words by Paugi. Sticks Collection. Superplex Squares. Yes, Superplex. Yeah, that's right. Number 1. Superhero Flying School. Super Rebellion. I'll take the Rebellion. I should just be doing it for all of these.
Yeah.
Super Duck. I'll take the Duck. The Jackbox Party Starter. That's 3 of the best-selling Jackbox games in one package, updated with new languages, bug fixes, new features. So check that out. The Legacy, Forgotten Gates. The Legacy, Prisoner. The Maze Game, Runner and Escapist. The Quest for Excalibur. Time on Frog Island. That game looks great. We got a preview of it. We don't have a review yet. It comes out July 12th, but our preview, I didn't do the preview. Person who did the preview was really into it, so go check that out. UFS League. Understand. Vicky Spotter, Around the World. Vicky Spotter, Shopping. Zero Tolerance Collection. That is a Genesis game that's been remade for the Switch. I believe this contains multiple versions of the game. The Genesis original, the updated version, and some other feature. And then Zik, Zombies in Cities. That's your North American games for this week. Shillelagh says, the releases for America this week are infinitely better than Europe. Klonoa Fantasy Reverie Series, Little Nightmares 1 and 2 Bundle, and Fist Forged in Shadow Torch, just to name a few. You're right. But remember, Europe does their lists differently for some reason. Like Europe is, I want to say,
stupid.
A week behind. So really, Nintendo of America is the weird one because they tell you about the stuff the week before it comes out. While a few of the games come out on that Thursday, most of them come out in the week to follow. Whereas Europe is like, these games are out now. And Josh.
What are the next European masterpieces? Let's find out with Nicky's sweet releases.
Thank you, Josh. Well, Brain, I believe you have something to do here. Oh, boy, it's like she's never done a show in her life. There we go. Nikki Hill, if you will, please. This is too long for me to believe that he... Oh.
And George.
Whoa.
This is the week of it's the week of July 7th in Europe, so it's not as long of a list. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you.
Is it our Lord's limey year?
The lime of our Lord.
2022. 2022, yeah. And it's so the first one is AI, the Somnium Files, Nirvana Initiative. I don't know if that last day is supposed to be capitalized. But
it is, yes. Why is it? I don't know.
Nirvana. It's Wingardium Leviosa. Instant Sports All Stars. Just add water. Zero collection. What most people have for myself. Kill the calculation games. Calumination.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Calumniation. Color Breakers. Elves Fantasy Hentai Puzzle.
There we go. And yes,
yeah.
I did research that one on the eShop.
Looks like it's time for me to set up a European account.
Don't worry, Nikki Hill. It's also in North America.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Forklift Extreme. Formula Bit Racing. DX. Gangsta Magic.
Yeah, that name.
Japanese Neko-sama Escaped the Local Train. Over Rogue. Quintus and the Absent Truth.
That's the mouse one again.
Oh, wait. It's the new mouse one. Okay.
Yes.
Railways. Railways. Train Simulation.
Cigarette. A juice.
Road to Death. Secrets of Magic 4. Potion Master. Stick Collection. Not a popular band. I guess Pokin Sticks? I don't even know what it is. Well, won't come over to my Sticks collection. Super Rebellion. Super Rebellion, Super Duck, Timber Story. Mom Brain, I don't know if you can get the button ready. This game is called Understand.
I understand. She wasn't ready.
I understand.
There you go.
Bit Orchard, Animal Valley has new DLC, and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for
I understand.
new DLC. And don't forget, the game Understand comes out this week too.
I understand.
Thank you, Nikki Hill.
Shillelagh has left a comment.
Go
the
for
only
it.
Comment. It's the first comment. Shillelagh says, "Good releases last week. I don't see anything of interest there this week, though." Well, I'm sorry, Shillelagh. Perhaps you missed Elves Fantasy Hentai Puzzle and Understand.
Now, I'm sure there's a lot of great games in here. I'll go through. I'll go through the ones that I know to be good. Somnium Files, good. Zero Tolerance, good. Eurokill, good. That's all I feel. Oh, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, but that's DLC. Those are the ones I'll give my stamp of approval for now. Not personal stamp of approval, but stamp of approval. And the other ones I cannot speak on because I know not much. Sure, this is a top story. Why not? Would I make it a top story? No. But here it is. E3 is coming back officially next year, guys. 2023. The Entertainment and Software Association and ReedPop, producer of major pop culture events such as PAX and Comic-Con, are going to be working with the ESA to bring E3 back for an in-person and digital experience in 2023. There you go. And yes, it will be at the LA Convention Center, the home of E3 for the last 2 decades.
We were there.
We've been there. That's right. Dreams made, dreams crushed in that building. So yeah, you'll have a traditional E3 week next year. Now, here's the thing. Are Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo going to do anything at this E3, or have they moved on? I think they might have moved on. Sony certainly seems like they've moved on.
Hey, what happened?
Nintendo's always the wild card, so who the hell knows what they're going to do? And Microsoft seems keen on E3, so they might be there, but I don't know. But E3 is coming back. So if you missed E3, congratulations, it's coming back. But I don't know if it's going to be the way you want it to be. We'll find out next year together. I'm just so happy that it's so far away. Shillelagh says, the one great thing about this is, hopefully, is that Nintendo shouldn't be able to ignore their traditional direct in early June like they did this year, a month after E3, and there's still no sign of it. Well, you know, I guess that could be an explanation. Nintendo was like, hey, E3's not happening. Pressure's off. We'll just do our own stuff and leave it at that. Could be. Who knows? There was a new patent this week for the Switch. No, there was a new patent this week for Nintendo. Could be applied to the Switch or any hardware. Again, say this every time because I don't want to break hearts. Patents from Nintendo do not mean that Nintendo will actually do these things. It means they have an idea and they want to protect it. They use some of it. They don't use others. For example, they didn't use that Wii rocking horse, which is always the example we go back to. Never used it. Maybe one day they will. Joy-Con could work in there. But anyway, here's what this patent is about. It is a patent that aims to take lower resolution images and convert them into higher res images. So as you know, some games, when they get ported to Switch, their texture quality is lowered because it saves on file size and it saves on processing power, and just it makes it better to run on Switch. Now Nintendo is looking into a way to take those low res images and make them appear high res through machine learning. So this would not need the full res asset. This would be the low res asset upgraded by machine learning. So it wouldn't be as good as the full res asset, but it would aim to be almost as good. So less storage space, image quality that roughly matches the source material. That's great. There's some other company doing this. I don't know if I'm wrong. I think it was NVIDIA. Either they're doing something like this or they put out something like this, but NVIDIA was looking into it as well. So this would be great. Yeah, that could really reduce size of games overall and make games less demanding on hardware. And the visual difference for players should be minuscule at best. So unless you're like Digital Foundry or something, and you're picking apart these things, like zooming in and looking at the pixels and all that. You should be good.
So this is for game size. It's not for uploading your dad's face on the Link's body or anything.
Well, it's not just for game size. It will relate to game size, but it's for the quality of the visuals you'll see in a game too. So a game would look better because it'd have quote unquote higher resolution images, except they wouldn't be higher resolution. It'd be a computer fooling you to make you think what you're looking at is a higher res image, but it's machine learning. So a machine looks at this set of data points and sees the source for them and tries to interpolate what's missing. It's like this AI art program. You tell it, whatever the weird crap is, the people told it in our chat. What was called Reggie kissing Alf, or Alf kissing Reggie, whatever it was.
Yeah, but that didn't look all that great, to be honest.
It didn't, but you're giving it just words and it's trying to come up with something. That's machine learning or AI in a sense. But like this would have an image to work off of. It'd have a base image. Yes.
Image of Reggie kissing Alf,
yes,
and it
yes.
would fill in
It'd
the
spit out a better quality image. Yes, which is what we all want. Currybo says, isn't this what NVIDIA's DLSS and AMD's Fidelity FX does? Yes, that is what it does, I believe. Obviously, Nintendo's doing something a little different and working for it for their hardware only. But yes, you are right on the money, my friend. So that would be great to see. Those two things. I saw Bowsette in here really quickly. Why did I miss Bowsette? I need the damn chat open the whole time. I feel so bad that I'm not in the chat because you guys. What? All right. You guys are hi Marsboro. You guys are great in the chat and you make the show better. And every time I pop in here, there's great stuff going on. But I'm switching between the news and the Discord.
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Oh, look, Nikki Hill's in here. Hi, Nikki Hill. Oh, there. Colma put up a picture of Bowsette on a car window. Can we put a Bowsette on the Tesla?
No.
Can we put a Bowsette on our front door?
We can't put anything on
On our front door.
Is that what I sound like?
Women's rights.
Sure.
All right. Resist. She says resist.
Sure, cool.
Thank you, Retsuza. That's very nice of you. Last top story. All right. I feel like I torture you guys sometimes. You at the table and you, Nikki Hill.
We feel it too.
Do you want to play guessing game or do you not want to play guessing game? This is not NPD related. We will do the guessing game for NPD, but this is different.
Mind doing a guessing
All
game.
right.
It's not torture.
All I needed was one. We have, thanks to License Global Magazine, the Global License Report for 2022, which shows us the biggest brands in the world. This is just brands in general. All brands, not gaming brands, just all brands. Pokemon Company was number 8 last year, and this year they're number 5. The biggest, fifth biggest licensor in the world. They made $8.5 billion in licensing revenue. And let me put that in perspective. Pokemon does one thing, Pokemon, and it's number 5 in the world. So, can you guess any of the others in the top 10? Again, this is just
Are there any
brands.
other video game ones in the top 10?
There are companies who have video games, but they are not game developers specifically.
Like Microsoft and Sony.
No, I know, but yes, like them.
Disney?
Who
Disney,
else is
yes.
left? Nintendo?
Disney was number 1. Not
Star
surprisingly.
Wars.
No, because that would fall under Disney. So technically, yes.
Is Apple a company that would be on a list like that?
They're not licensing stuff out. So
I don't understand how this game works.
like
Nickelodeon.
Disney has like Disney toys that they work with, I don't know, Mattel and Hasbro on and stuff like that.
WWE.
Good guess, not in here.
Nickelodeon.
Nikki Hill, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said Lego, but I may be misunderstanding again.
Lego is a good guess, not on here. Lego does license out. That's definitely true. I mean, with Nintendo, we saw them. With Disney, too. Nickelodeon, no. Any other guesses? Some of these are going to be ones you never heard of. Other ones are ones you've definitely heard of. No.
Hello Kitty.
No. See, that's one of the world's most valuable brands. That's true. But no.
McDonald's?
Yeah, and McDonald's is only doing like McDonald's stuff. They're not like, you're not going out to buy like a McDonald's collaboration with somebody or something like that.
Monopoly.
So like there's
Parker.
So like with
Stranger
Pokemon,
Things pizza.
there's Pokemon video games, and there's Pokemon McDonald's meals, and there's Pokemon T-shirts, and there's Pokemon cards, and there's Pokemon, like all these different branches of things that they're working with people on. So they're licensing out the Pokemon brand for stuff. Also on this list, companies you never heard of include Dot Meredith, which is a lifestyle brand publisher for People Magazine and others. There's Authentic Brands Group, which does fashion and celebrity stuff. Now here's one, Warner Media. So they have, a ton of IP under their umbrella. Now Pokemon Company beat out Hasbro. Don't need to explain that.
They do the gummies, the gummy bears.
The happy world of Hasbro.
That's right.
NBC Universal. Huge. Mattel, another one I don't need to explain, and Paramount. So we're talking about companies that have, hundreds of brands to license out under their umbrella, and Pokemon Company beat them through just licensing out Pokemon. Wow! It's the popularity of Pikachu, huh?
Companies that have Jesus and the power of Pokemon behind.
That's the literal power of God in anime.
Power of God.
I don't know why you get so excited about Pokemon success.
I will not forget the cable. I'm doing the podcast, and this is now part of the podcast. Why I get so excited? No, it's not. I'm not excited. I mean, I'm happy about it. I'm not excited. I'm astonished. Like, it's mind-blowing. Pokemon Company only has Pokemon. We're talking about NBC Universal, Paramount, Hasbro, Mattel.
I can't think of anything except for Barbie that like kids would like. Pokemon is obviously why, like, if kids get it and parents get it for their kids. I don't.
Yeah, but so for example, talk about NBC Universal. Like we could sit here all day naming brands that they have. All right, so you're thinking like
Jaws.
1920s Universal. Okay, never mind. Yeah, Jaws. Yes, all right. Now I understand why this doesn't make any sense.
I mean, come on. No kids know what Lon Chaney is.
All right, what if I said like everything on the USA Network, everything on the NBC Network, everything Comcast is involved with, like it's like thousands of brands. It's like insanity, and Pokemon beats them all. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. This is crazy. Like Disney being number one, that makes total sense. Of course, they have literally
children's stuff. Yeah,
some of the biggest brands in the world. Well, again, yes, we're looking at like Star Wars and Marvel and all the Disney, Pixar, and all that stuff. But you're also not factoring in like Hulu and ABC and ESPN and like all the other stuff that Disney has. Like it's Touchstone's not around anymore, right? No, I sound like an old person. Mattel gummies. That's right, Mars Borrow. They're putting out Mattel gummies with and they're going to do a collaboration with Universal for King Kong and Wolfman and Frankenstein and everybody's favorites. All the hot brands. They tried to do that Universal
Tom Cruise
cinematic universe with their monsters and bombed it right out of the gate.
It's not necessarily a bad idea, just
it's
bombed
not
it right out of the gate. And
it's not at all. It's definitely not a bad idea. It's just, you got to start strong. You can't start on the wrong foot.
Good. Like if Iron Man sucked, we wouldn't have the MCU.
Yeah, it's definitely true. And I mean, like the Hulk didn't suck, but the Hulk wasn't very good. But because of Iron Man, they that was enough to get the foot in the door where people were like, "Oh, I'll go see whatever the next Marvel thing is." But yes, the Dark Universe did not take off. All right, that's your top stories for today, everybody. Wop, 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 wop. Right, Josh? All right.
Dark Metamorphosis!
Oh, there it is. All right, Nikki Hill, what have you been playing?
Shut up. I don't care.
Thanks, Josh.
I care.
Solitaire. I don't even remember. I think I finished Grease last week. I think. So that I haven't played. I bought a bunch of stuff, but I haven't played it. But I did start playing Portal, but I can only play it for a little while before I start feeling a little nauseous. So then I set it aside and come back to it.
But that's not your first time, right?
No, I played. I guess I played it at your house somewhere.
Yeah.
Both of them, but I wanted to play it again, and yeah, I am. So that's what's going on.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, Mom Brain, what have you been playing?
Earthbound.
Oh, how's it going? You've made some serious progress.
I made it to
Summers.
And I experienced my first like really overt Twin Peaks reference. Like I know that there's influences, but this was like overt. So in Summers, I haven't really. I walked along the beach, and then like up on the sidewalk a little, but where did I? Oh, I had to leave for a meeting.
In real life.
In real life, I had to fulfill my public service duties. So I had to stop playing Earthbound, which was a total bummer. But I ran into a Mina Bird, which was my, like I said, my first like real hardcore Twin Peaks. Like whoa, so that was kind of cool. And I feel like I really got the groove of like, how to do things and what to do.
Oh, she got the Discord open?
Yeah.
The second she said groove, that picture popped up.
That's me too. I sent that.
So it's been a lot of fun. I'm really, really, really enjoying it. I have no complaints.
There's Psycho Duck.
Get pecked out.
Psycho Duck is not in the chat, but Psycho Duck is right there.
So, I'm loving it. If you haven't played it, and you
Hi,
want
Pip-Up
something
Water.
that's like it's a very comforting, nice game. I don't know how else to put it. It's just lovely.
You haven't had too much difficulty outside of areas that I told you would have difficulty. So
yeah, I mean, I've been there's
same
there's
areas
not
I
been,
had trouble and do had trouble.
Yeah, there's not been really anything that I'm like. It's enough of a challenge for it to be engaging without it being like, okay, I'm never going to do this. Forget it.
Well, keep in mind, you are using traditional saves, so
Yes,
that certainly helps.
Absolutely.
You're yet to get to the area that gave me the most difficulty. Dude didn't have too much difficulty there, especially because he was farming for a specific item, so he was extremely overpowered by the time he had to finish that place up. But
and you've got all 4 characters now.
No.
No, she just got the Summers, so it'll be very soon, actually. Summers is the beach front with the hotels and all that stuff.
I believe my 4th character is named Poot.
Nice.
I believe that's what I named my 4th.
Their name, I think, in the game is Pooh, right? And you went with Poot?
Bruce, I believe is his name.
Bruce was yours, yes. Ice Dilbert says, I started Earthbound 2 in 4-side now. Wife at 3869 in Penny and Flow. There you go, the big update. Hi, Rex.
Ooh.
We're glad you made it too. Is that it, Mom Brain? Loving the adventure so far?
Yeah, I really am. I
Scratching
can't
that
wait to play
itch.
it on vacation. And you know what? I would be playing more, except I'm playing on Raw Meat Switch.
All right.
and
My
that means
mistake. I don't know why we did it that way.
There's not.
Oh,
we.
because
it's why you did it that way.
Gotcha.
What did I start off by saying? I said my mistake.
And then you said, I don't know why we did it that way.
Well, yes, you're the one playing. Mom Brain had no part in the decision of where it was played, but she did want to play it on the old TV.
Yeah.
So we bought an RF thing to hook it up, but it wouldn't work. And then I was just like, well, I guess you'll just play on a Switch. At that point, I should have moved it over to the Super Nintendo Classic, but I didn't. But it's been fine. Whatever. You go to bed early. It's fine. You just play it all day while I'm working. It doesn't matter. Yeah, Pip-Up Water Mother 3. That'll be next. Dew hasn't played it. Mom Brain hasn't played it. And I got to finish it, actually. So, all of us.
And you're playing on the Switch OLED, and I'm sure you'll take that to North Carolina.
Oh, she's not playing that handheld. I'm going to be honest. She's mistreated my Switch a little bit.
Oh, dang.
To my dirty Joy-Con. Dirty Joy-Con.
I don't know how it got dirty.
Leaves it on for a very long time when she's not playing. She's like, I'm just getting up to go to the bathroom. 45 minutes later, maybe she comes back to play. Don't care for it. Don't care for it.
All
Just putting it out there.
I'm sorry.
I went to pick up the Switch the other day, and it's did someone rub chocolate all over this Joy-Con?
I
It was
wasn't
like
eating chocolate.
It was like asphalt. You're dirty.
You're nasty.
You're nasty. All right.
What have you been playing?
Yeah, thank you. I want him to go last. It was busy this week. I didn't play anything. I have stuff to play for review now that I'm really excited about, but I haven't played it. All I did was play. Oh no, that's a lie. I played Fortnite. We've talked about that to the death, but I played Fall Guys with Deux and a couple other friends, and we did horribly, but we had fun.
Yeah, we had fun.
We had a good time. Time and time again, we were playing the squad mode. And the furthest we got was the second. Did we get to the third round once or no?
I don't think we did. I don't think we ever did.
Well, one member of the team drags us down more than others. But all that matters is we were having fun.
Yeah.
All new stages from when I played last time, so that was good. But yeah, you don't need to hear more about Fall Guys. You know what it is. You run and jump and get to the goal, and that's pretty much it. And all the other bean guys frustrate you. So that's all there is to it.
Are you done playing Neon White?
My review's coming soon. Yes, I'm saving my thoughts for the review. I will say this: Chef's kiss. That's all I'll say.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Even though you can't see the weapon that you're holding. I purposely picked like the stupidest little nitpick just to see what your reaction
was. I mean, like, I never even thought of it because you're thinking of weapon as in like holding a gun, and that's not what's going on in the game. So I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I stumped you.
It's like there's like cards and stuff. So
real dumb.
It's like saying, and you can't even see Gambit's cards when he's throwing them. But anyway. That's it, Deux.
We're looking forward to your review.
Deux, what have you been playing?
I've been playing, babies. So this has been a good week for Deux.
We're doing it.
Yeah,
we got to see Deux setup. I'd be playing a lot too. You got a nice setup.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the setup is sweet. There's so many video game consoles. I don't even know what to do with myself. I've got everything hooked up now with the Wii U, and all the digital games are back. I have to say, I have less digital games than I thought I would from all my complaining and carrying on. But there's still a good amount. I'd say there's like 60.
There's a good amount. Honestly, I mean, since we're being honest, so I downloaded your games, and as I was going through them, I was like, I can't imagine he's going to play like more than half of these, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, when it first came out, like the Virtual Console, I got a bunch of staples because I was just in hog heaven.
Urban Champion, of course.
Yeah, so, there's Urban Champion on there. There's like the original Legend of Zelda. There's like the original Super Mario Brothers, like some Castlevanias, stuff like that. But the original stuff. So a lot of that stuff I might not go back and play all that often, but it's great to have. But there is, there's a ton of things that, that I'm looking forward to getting into again, or just happy to have back in my library. And I jumped into a whole bunch of them just because I was excited to start playing. And we've got not a lot of playtime under the belt. But
the old 5-minute challenge.
Yeah, the old 5-minute challenge. But yeah, so I dug immediately into Legend of the Mystical Ninja on Super Nintendo. And I mean, you could just let the music play in that puppy. But that game's still great. Then I saw that Secret of Mana was on there, and that was one that I downloaded long ago and was like, I heard this game's good. I should probably play it, and never ever played it. So I turned that on and played like about 5.
That's a tough one to play 5 minutes of and know what's going on.
I wouldn't call it playing. I'd call it like watching 5 minutes of the story and being like, I'll come back.
So you fell off a bridge and the
That's
end.
Exactly what happened. Yeah, I fell off the bridge and I was like, this is good. Next.
That's a unique combat system because it's not full on Zelda, and it's definitely not full on RPG. It's more towards Zelda, but it's still turn time based. It's interesting, but it's more active battling than it is in a traditional RPG.
I do want to actually give it a real try.
It's got a great soundtrack too.
I
I'm
was
sure
gonna
that'll
say
push you through.
I was going to say the music so far was already pretty good, and I was kind of into it, but switched it up for some Lost Winds, and Lost Winds is still great.
Yeah, when I was re-downloading those on yours, I was like, I should make time to replay these again because I remember how much I love them, but I don't remember a lot of actually playing it.
Well, the Lost Winds goes hand in hand with Resident Evil 4 Wii edition. I was like, ooh, I got the Wii hooked up now. I can play my favorite edition of one of my favorite games because the aiming is flawless with the Wii remote. And I turned on this game and I forgot what like 480p meant. It looks so bad, and like Lost Winds looks really bad too. And I was like, oh no, like forgot the Wii wasn't like that great looking.
The Wii didn't have the Wii was 480p. Yeah, you could get the HDMI cable, but yeah, you're just getting it's HDMI, but it's still 480p. So
yeah, it's tough. It's funny because like you've got all those classic 8-bit, 16-bit games, and they still look great. And then there's like a no man's land in the middle where stuff looks pretty rough. And there's some more stuff I'm going to say about that with some future games coming up here. I played a little Target Toss Pro Bag.
Oh, did you?
Which is not nearly as fun as I remember. Man, we had so much fun with that game.
Oh, I can't imagine playing it.
The edges.
I can't imagine playing it alone too. Is that much fun?
Yeah.
We were doing it in groups and just being stupid.
Yeah.
So,
but it's a little rougher around the edges than I remember. But it's still pretty good.
That was like a lot of late nights, I recall.
Yeah, just throwing those bags. I turned on some Cave Story, and that looks great and plays pretty good. So that's a fun one. I wanted to get that on the Switch and never did. So now I have it on the Wii U. Tales of Monkey Island. I guess I never played those because I have all 5 episodes, and I thought it was the one that I played, but what I played was, I guess, the Xbox 360 like remaster.
You bought all 5 and you didn't play any of them?
Well, I think what happened was the first 2 or 3 were free or something. Like they gave you. There was definitely a deal.
I don't remember.
There was definitely a deal because I wouldn't have bought any of them. And I think what happened is like I either got the first 2 or the first 3 for free, and then I was like, well, I can't not have a full game. So then they got me to buy the other 2.
I'm gonna have all these games I'm not gonna play.
Yeah, and to be honest, I couldn't even get through like the menu screen. Like I clicked everything through and hit go, and then like tried to skip ahead because it was like taking forever to like get to the story. So I like hit the plus button and it brought me back to the menu, and I was like, this was a good game, and I quit.
This is great. So glad you have these games back.
Well, most of them I'm glad I have back, and it's nothing against that Monkey Island game. I just I
just bought all 5 of them.
I've got the attention span of like a flea. Yeah. So then, as far as like real stuff, I did all this talk from Mom Brain got me to start playing Earthbound again. I actually started up Earthbound and made a whole new character, and like was like an old pro at it at this point.
Does he like Beef S?
He still likes Beef S.
Okay.
But some of the characters are named different.
Is it really frustrating every time I play and I like level up? I'm like, gosh, I'm so glad I'm stronger. I'm so glad I'm stronger. So I imagine that like when you start back from the beginning, you're like, oh man, I'm so puny.
Yeah, I forgot because like I was walking just to the very first like meteorite site, and I was like getting my butt kicked by like dogs,
Yeah.
and I was like, wait, why is this so
Angry birds
difficult?
or whatever they're
Crows.
But
mean crows.
but I'm definitely a lot better at the game now already. So like that was no problem. And I got to see that weird dude you guys were talking about, because I totally missed him the first time around, and went back and saw the idol.
Oh, so you went to the basement and saw the Manny Manny statue,
and like saw the idol, and like,
what a weirdo.
He was being real weird.
Yep.
And I thought that was pretty funny. And he knew he was being weird. He was like, you know, it's in the basement. You should follow me. I know it's kind of strange, or says something like that. But
isn't there just one screen of you just like following him and like nothing happens to like downstairs or something?
Go through like 3 or 4 screens of just that generic cave.
Yes,
and you're
yes,
just like,
yes.
when is this gonna
That's
end?
it. Because there's
it takes you down there, and he has you look at it, and then he's like, "Get out of here!"
Yeah, because there's an homage to that in Undertale. Yeah, I remember both of those sections now. But yeah, he's a weirdo.
It reminded me of that movie Zodiac, where Jake Gyllenhaal is in what he thinks is the killer's house, and he's like, "Not a lot of people have basements in California," and the guy's like, "I do." And then he goes down in the basement, and he's supposed to follow him. But anyways,
and shows him the Manny Manny statue.
No, he doesn't follow him in the basement. He's smarter than Ness was. So I don't know if I'm gonna, like, now that I have a couple of things that I'm like seriously playing, I don't know if I'm gonna get back to Earthbound as quick as I'd like to. But I was really enjoying it, even the second time through. Portal 2 I beat this week.
Nice.
And man, still great, still wonderful.
Cave Johnson.
Cave Johnson is incredible.
Now you remember.
Yeah, if anyone was listening last week, RMC mentioned Cave Johnson, and I just like stayed quiet because I was still in the beginning parts of Portal 2, and I didn't even remember who Cave Johnson was. And then when I got to him, I was like, "Oh yes, this guy's freaking
funny,"
awesome.
because we had that conversation on a podcast, and Dew and I talked about it later, and I was like, yeah, when I mentioned Cave Johnson last week, because you said you were playing Portal, I know you've played the sequel. I thought you remember, and you look like you didn't. And he was like, I did not.
The stuff that he says, I mean, the whole game is funny. Like everyone's funny in it, and it's engaging, and it's just so great. Everything about the game is really wonderful. It makes you want to keep playing. It's addictive. The story is great, but like everything that Cave Johnson says is hilarious. Like there's not one thing that's not funny that he says. And like there's certain things that you can get him to say if you like go to a certain spot, or if you like click on some door or something, and like, yeah, he'll just like some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth it's read perfectly. The actor's great, J.K. Simmons. And man, when he was like, you know, if you cut yourself at all during these tests, you might have noticed that you're bleeding pure gasoline.
The Piplup Water quoted one of Cave Johnson's quotes in the Discord. He said, I'll read you the full quote. When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad. I don't want your damn lemons. What the hell am I supposed to do with these?
I saw somebody...
George, do you agree with this?
I hate lemons. Limes are fine.
Make limeade. I saw somebody like put the Cave Johnson lemon quote over like J.K. Simmons like yelling in that Whiplash movie, and it's like pretty funny. But yeah, he says something else that really got me rolling too. Something about like, you know, if you have to urinate, you know, let the boys know they need to take a sample, like because there's a 90% probability that what comes out of you will be cold. and if that, you know, it's no big deal, but if it persists for a week, then that's a big deal, or something like that. But yeah, like everything he says in it is so great. So yeah, that was awesome. I recommend that to anybody if you've been living under a rock and haven't played it. This might surprise you, RMC. I downloaded and played the Live Alive demo just for you.
You really did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not just for you. You said it was cool, and I was like, well, let me see what the heck is going on.
It's a piece of history. What do you think?
It's actually pretty good. It was surprisingly good. I played 2 of the 3 scenarios. I really liked one scenario, and then the second scenario is like fine.
Well, it's fine. What scenarios did you play?
I played the ancient China and the ancient Japan.
Yes.
The China one was great.
I have a feeling you're really gonna. I don't know what ones are in the demo, but you're gonna like the Wild West one. I'm sure of that.
Yeah, it looked cool. I wanted to play more of them. I like.
Well, like I said, your save data goes into the full game. So
yeah. So I don't know. I liked it. I liked the battle system. I liked the stories. I liked the graphics, and the music was good. Like, it was all great. I was pretty surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
it's classic Square at that time. SquareSoft, like that era of Square. That's like Chrono Trigger, late Final Fantasy before it went over to PlayStation, Secret of Mana.
But this is
all that stuff.
heavily remastered, right? Like, this was all
The HD. Yeah, it looked like one of those games back in the day.
It
like,
looks terrific.
this is HD 2D. Yeah, like their same engine they did for Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, the way they have like some of the art where it's like blurry in the background and really well done. So
that's the perfect way. I give them so much respect, and I'm really impressed because that's, in my mind, that's the perfect way to take those classic 16-bit games and bring them up to today. Like, because they're still really visually impressive. They retain the feel of the originals and the style of the originals too. I think it's a great engine. I'm really, really, really impressed by that. So.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I'd say, I don't know, it's a free demo. I'd say it's free.
It's free.
Download it and try it out. You know, what's the worst that happens? You don't like it, then
It's free.
Don't play it. But like, I was surprised. Thought it has a lot of potential.
Well, that's great.
I thought this 30-year-old game that's been proven over the years had a lot of potential.
This game that's been praised for years on end, and people are finally, people are ecstatic to see finally get localized. It's pretty good. There's something to it.
And last but not least, I borrowed Twilight Princess HD from RMC. I've got the Wind Waker HD on the Wii U, but I didn't have the Twilight Princess one, and it's way too expensive online to purchase. So RMC was nice enough to loan me that. I played about 2.5 hours of Twilight Princess.
You get to the monkey cave?
I'm just there now, like to the first temple.
Remember swinging on those monkeys across ropes and stuff?
Yeah. So I played Twilight Princess a lot on the Wii, and I really love that game. And it's been a while, and like, it looks really nice actually in HD. What's funny about the HD on it is it brings out a lot of like, it makes the graphics better in a lot of ways, but at the same time, it makes some things noticeably uglier. And not ugly in like a game breaking way, but just like a laughable, like, oh God way. And Wind Waker's praised for its like facial expressions and things like that. I had no idea there were so many facial expressions in Twilight Princess till it went HD. Maybe I'm just misremembering it how it was, but like, there's a lot of facial expressions. It looks really good. It's just, I'm playing it right now on the gamepad. I miss having that little waggle control. And the thing that's funny about that is with Skyward Sword being what it is, I don't know if I could go back to the waggle control and be happy. Like, I can definitely play it how it is now, like with the traditional controls on a regular controller, but I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I missed that waggle there. I really liked that about the game. It's missing that part of it.
That's the only way I've played it.
And it's weird and plus the Wii version was always flipped. So now I'm playing it and things are the same, but they're like mirrored. So I feel a little off kilter, which is fine. It's fine. but yeah, it's going to be great. I'm going to keep playing it. I just, like I said, I can't believe how bad things used to look, and I didn't realize it.
Well, they were made for, especially Twilight Princess was made for 480p TVs. It was not made for HD or anything like that. It played to the strengths of those old TVs. Like, sprites were made in certain ways back in 16-bit games to blend when viewed on a CRT. And games back in that era from Nintendo were made to look a certain way based on what they thought the TV would be that you're playing on. So yeah, when you take that's a remaster. When you take a remaster and you just upgrade it to HD, you're like, oh, like you said, some of it you're like, oh, this looks really nice, and other times you're like, ooh, this is showing its age.
It's just crazy that, and we talk about this a lot, that Space World trailer came out, and then we got Wind Waker, and I was furious. And then they came out with Twilight Princess, and when you look back, Twilight Princess looks way worse.
Yeah.
And not only that, you think about, well, what if they made a Twilight Princess during the Wind Waker era? It would be unplayable. Like, I wouldn't be able to play a post Majora's Mask, pre Twilight Princess, quote, realistic Zelda today. I don't think you'd be able to play it. Like,
I to this day, Twilight Princess is my least favorite Zelda visually, without a doubt, like easily. It just doesn't do it for me. My favorite visual style is Skyward Sword. I love the look of Skyward Sword. I think that's such an interesting idea. Again, that was made for the Wii, like to really play to the strengths of the Wii, and I just love what they did there. But yeah, Twilight Princess, just from a visual standpoint, very uninteresting. From a gameplay standpoint, I wish we'd get another one where we had a wolf. I really like that stuff, but we won't. You were talking about facial expressions, how you noticed Twilight Princess has a lot, and you said Wind Waker is known for it. Both of those things are true, but none of them have my favorite facial expression of any Zelda game from Skyward Sword, the blank face Link, where his eyes are just a little too big. It's my favorite. I love it. I use this picture so much when we talk about Skyward Sword because I love how giant his eyes are. So you were busy.
Yeah, I was busy. I'm gonna be even busier with more Twilight Princess. I'm excited to be back playing it again. But it's Legend of Zelda, unlike any other series, has had me swapping out my favorites over the years, over and over. Like, I can't think of one thing, whether it be movies or video games or books or whatever else, where I had a favorite and it's changed so many times over the years. Like, I never thought, like, when Wind Waker came out, I never thought I'd like it. It became my favorite. When Twilight Princess came out, I never thought I wanted another Wind Waker, and then I ended up liking the waggle controls. And then when Skyward Sword came out, I automatically hated it. And then now it's like one of my favorites, to the point where I wish every Zelda had that one-to-one sword play, because it's missing. And so, like, it's weird. And then Breath of the Wild came out, and it was like, forget it. Like, this is the only Zelda I want ever again. So, like, I don't know how it keeps doing that over the years. And it's not necessarily like, oh, the newest one's my favorite. It sounds like it just from how I explained it. But, like, no, I'm hopping back and forth with my favorites with this game, with this series. And I don't know. I can't explain it.
Well, that's the thing, because they all have merit and they're all great. They're all great at the time, but then as time rolls on, you appreciate elements of all of them for different reasons. Like, there's no bad mainline Zelda game. That just doesn't exist. There's ones you'll like more than others, certainly, but there's none where you're like mediocre at best. Like, they're all great.
We have to remember that when they continue to delay whatever one's coming out next. We have to remember how much we love them all. Like,
you know, this is the thing.
The thing is,
with the things I absolutely love, I go through a cycle where I learn about them, I become infatuated with them, I become obsessed with them, and I love them. And then that all happens in a very quick amount of time. Then what happens is I constantly worry all the time that a bad one's going to happen. And I'm like, there's never been a bad one. Why do I worry about it? It's not going to happen. And with other things that I like, it has happened, but it's rebounded and it's fine. It's fine. With Nintendo, it hasn't happened yet. And it's been the one that I've liked the longest. And I'm like, oh God, it's going to happen at some point.
and this, you know, looking back, a lot of people really like Majora's Mask, so I'm not crapping on it. But I would say for me personally, that's the low bar. And I see it as like and it's not exactly this, but it's like, because it's a sequel to Ocarina of Time, kind of. I guess not kind of, it is. And that's the one thing that worries me about this new Breath of the Wild.
I was going to say,
it's like, oh, they're doing another Breath of the Wild. The last time they did this, they put out arguably my least favorite Zelda.
But the reason it was your least favorite was because of the time constraint.
That was part of it. It's definitely part of it.
If that time constraint wasn't in there, what complaints would you have?
I don't like the mask and
Oh,
changing
okay.
to different people, like or different
Never
things.
mind.
Like that's not my jam. But yeah, and I didn't like. This is unfair because I'm glad they tried something new, but I didn't like Termina. It was like I wanted some more Hyrule or something, but like they did it, so I mean,
yeah, everything in that game, or almost everything, is based around the time mechanic. So if you don't like the time, then a lot of things relate directly to that. So the town's built for you to experience over the course of 3 days. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but it's not a bad game, and I'm sure Breath of the Wild 2 will be great. But that's just the one thing that's kind of in the back of my head gnawing at me. But like they're taking the time to do it right, and like you said, that no one has a better track record.
I mean, in my opinion, there's other companies that have had, I would say, equal track records. Like I would say modern day Rockstar, like their new installments, they're all great. For they might not be my favorite, but I can recognize like the excellence in them.
Yeah.
Valve is another one that puts out games where they haven't really had a miss. But yeah, I've been worrying about that since I was a little kid, and it hasn't happened yet. And you'd think some point I'd be like, well, it's not going to happen. Then one day it will happen. I'll be like, this is why I worried for 30 years. Because here it is.
Yeah, it's a good thing that I took years off my life worrying about this.
Well, that's why I do all that stuff. Like, I talked about how I read TV ratings and all that stuff all the time, because I am constantly worried that the things that I like are going to disappear. So every week that I'm checking sales, and I'm checking ratings, and I'm checking social media stuff, because I'm like, okay, everything's good. Everybody likes this thing. It seems like it's going well. Like when Hannibal was on, when I found out about it in the second season, I had like a heart attack because I loved it. And I'm like, is it going to get a third season? Nobody watched it. Like there's no way. And then the third season came out, and I was like, I just got to enjoy it because I know it's not going to get renewed for a third season. And it didn't. And I was like, why aren't people watching this? And it just drives me nuts. So I do that with everything. Yeah. Every week I do it. Look at all that stuff. It's a sickness. But I'm glad I'm glad you're enjoying your games, and they just come and go in and out of your life at different times, and you experience new things that you like that you didn't realize you liked years ago.
Well, that's what's great about being ignorant is, you can...
Mom Brain looked at you and was like, yes, I agree.
Because, 30 years later, you can play Earthbound for the first time and be like, oh, this is amazing. Like,
I mean, look, it took me a very long time to play it, only because I'm scared of RPGs, though. But now that's my thing. See, Earthbound, there isn't a problem, because I am in a world where I'm like, there will never be another Earthbound. I already know this. They fumbled it. So I'm like, the game wasn't bad, but the advertising was bad and people didn't play it. So I'm not worried about like, oh, if this doesn't sell, the next one's not happening, because it's just not happening. So if a third one comes around, I'll be like, this is a lovely surprise. But yeah, that ship has sailed. Well, thank you, Deux. That was great.
My pleasure.
I'm surprised to hear you played that demo instead of just like 2 hours of Urban Champion, but I'm pleasantly surprised.
No one can play 2 hours of Urban Champion. Are you kidding me?
All right, let's go on to questions. Send your questions to GoNinPod@gmail.com.
Where?
GoNinPod@gmail.com. They can be about Nintendo. They can be about video games in general, or whatever the hell you want. Autumnal Blake says, I've got three pretty...
Spicy, make the ball!
I got three pretty simple questions here for each of you to answer, but before each person gives their choice, all the other cast members and chat can guess what they will pick. We could try it.
Why not?
Okay. Question 1. It says okay. Question 1. Mom Brain, we'll just give you question 1.
Okay.
Question 1. Mom Brain, do you like limes or lemons better? I think I know my answer. Does anybody else does anybody else here care to guess what Mom Brain's going to answer? I think I know my answer, though. Lemons or limes for Mom Brain?
I think I know.
All right. Nikki Hill, you think you know?
I don't know. I
Okay,
don't know.
excellent. Mombrain, answer.
Limes.
I was going to say lemon, so
I
I'm
was
wrong.
I was
Well,
gonna say
I never
lemon.
see you eating limes.
Well, do you ever see me eating lemons?
Yeah, spice soup. Don't you put limes in that all the time? Lemons, sorry.
You don't eat spice soup.
Yeah, I know, but answer the question.
Yeah, because I have lemons left over.
There you go.
Because I didn't eat them.
I never see you buy limes.
I do.
What do you eat them in a car before you get home?
I like a lime and ginger ale.
Hey, this is amazing. Your answer is lemon. Somebody that loves limes will buy
Woman after
limes.
my own heart.
What was that, George?
A woman after my own heart.
Thanks, George.
All right, Do.
Yes.
How many stars out of 5 stars would you give Breath of the Wild?
5.
Oh,
give it
you
5
answered right
stars.
away. We were
Oh,
going to
we were
guess.
supposed to
I would have
guess.
guessed 5, but
Yeah, I'd give it 5. I don't see how it can't get 5.
Nikki Hill. There's one more question. It's for you.
And don't answer before we guess. Sorry about that.
Should Waluigi be in Smash Brothers? When you have your answer, let us know. I think I have my answer.
I have an answer, yeah.
Okay, you guys got an answer?
I think he said yes.
I think he's going to say yes.
I would say, of course.
Nikki Hill?
I would say yes.
Oh, okay. Because?
The only other thing that I would say is, like, I don't know. I could say no because maybe he deserves his own game, but
Well, he can be in Smash and his own game.
yeah, I know. But focus all attacks on his own game, you know. But but yeah, or all efforts at least. But I'd say he belongs in there. Everybody belongs in there.
If Wario's in there and has been in there since the Wii, it's about time for Waluigi to get in there. Yeah.
Waluigi is in there as a trophy or like a.
He is an assist trophy. Yeah, he comes in and like stomps people into the dirt. But he could move from assist trophy to real character.
Put him in coach.
That's right. I agree. Thank you, Autumnal Blake. We also have a Patreon question. Mombrain, did you know you could join the Patreon?
For $1.
For $1. Thank you, Billy. This comes from Gretimus. They say, hey there, podcast crew. Happy as hell to be able to watch or listen to you each week again. That was hell written specifically for me to read like that. So we're happy to be here with you each week. Give me some music recommendations. If you discovered something new or just new to you, shout it out. My recommendation is The Deer Hunter, DEAR. Their new songs are bopping. Well, thank you. I am always looking for new music recommendations.
We'll listen in the car.
We got 9 hours ahead of us. So yeah, we could listen. New music recommendations. Very tough for me because I dislike a ton of music. So I can't really give you a new one. I don't have anything new in my wheelhouse.
Does it new as in new music or just because I don't
know? It just says give me some music recommendations, but all my stuff would be old recommendations. So.
You turned me on to that Gimmick soundtrack this
Oh.
week. That was really good.
I've been listening to that so much. Look up the Gimmicks. I wrote about this on Patreon. The Gimmick soundtrack for the NES. Listen to that sucker. That is a bop without a doubt. Man, is that soundtrack good. See, that's what I do. I listen to game soundtracks all the time, and I let YouTube take me down its rabbit hole. So I'll listen to a game soundtrack I'm familiar with, and then it's like, hey, here's another soundtrack from a game you're familiar with. And then it was like, hey, here's Gimmick. And I knew the game, but never heard the soundtrack. And I was like, thank you so much, YouTube. It gave me another one today that I've never heard of. And I heard like a minute of it. I'm like, I got to save it. This sounds great too. So yeah, I just let YouTube take me wherever. I guess Lewis Cole and Knower. I don't know if we've ever talked about those on the podcast, but I love Lewis Cole and his band is Knower. They're fantastic.
Sylvan Esso, I enjoy a great deal.
Don't even know it.
You listened to them on our way to North Carolina last year, maybe?
Sylvan Asshole. Okay, I'll remember.
Esso.
Silver Asshole.
Feel like my apple on bar.
Colma says Japanese breakfast. Mom Brain is a fan of them.
I do like Japanese.
Oh, you know what? I like Caro Bonito, but you guys probably know them.
Who does Yo No Se Mañana?
It's not a real recommendation.
For you.
Colma says Hail Listen to some Caravan Palace. It's electro swing, Japanese. Oh my God, Red Souza said Plantasia. I don't know if he said that because of me, but I love that album. Plantasia is great.
Rex put a link to Rex's band that says, "Here's my band if you want new music and heartbroken gay surf music sounds good to you."
Yes, it does. Ship to Shore. Can I buy an actual album here? Oh no, the name of the album is Ship to Shore. I'm an idiot. I'm not going to play all of this. I don't want a copyright claim. I'm going to go to the middle. Well, that is definitely Surfer. Can you see us cruising down the street tomorrow listening to this?
Rex, I hope you're not a heartbroken gay.
Well, I mean, the gay's fine, but heartbroken.
Well, yeah, I mean...
We're going to go with just the heartbroken on that one.
Well, I mean, I'm just... Because it says, and heartbroken gay surf music.
So not anymore, baby.
Woo!
Nice.
That's great. Any other music recommendations? Anybody?
I've been trying to get you to listen to an album by the Cocteau Twins called Heaven or Las Vegas.
I listened to that, and I listened to the album Grant recommended too. Last time you guys, a while ago, both of you recommended me albums, and I put them in my YouTube playlist. That was one of them, and I can't remember.
Nice.
And Kirby was like, "This is my favorite album," and I listened to it 3 times, and I don't like it at all. I'm so upset. But yours, I did.
I wonder what album it was.
Yours is saved in my. I have them saved in my playlist on YouTube.
It's
I can
pretty
look.
good, right?
It was good. Yeah, I did like it.
I knew nothing about the Cocteau Twins until like last year, and I
have something from them on. It must have been like an album from a something or.
Yeah, I they've got a couple of songs that like we would have heard over the years, but like. I guess I was getting them confused with the Thompson Twins because I was like, they sound like an 80s like one-hit wonder. And I came across this album because of TikTok called Heaven or Las Vegas. And the whole album's pretty dang good. And I thought it'd be right up your alley, RMC, because the lead singer, she's got a cool sounding voice, but like you can't understand any of the lyrics that she's saying.
I don't need to understand lyrics. It's fine.
Yeah, and I was like, that's right up RMC's alley. He'd rather not have to think about lyrics.
It's true.
Did you say you're listening to the John Cocteaustons?
Yeah, like John Cocteauston Twins.
Man,
which are his balls.
There's damn it, I forgot it again. I did have a music recommendation, but I can't think of it. It's those guys that do the Beastie Boy kind of rap.
Oh.
Yeah,
well, I mean, listen. If you've never listened to anything by the Beastie Boys, and I can't imagine anybody who could say they haven't heard the Beastie Boys, but Beastie Boys are freaking great, and they're great for summer. Like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I do love the Beastie Boys.
I'm trying to find it.
How about that? How about any city pop? I've been getting into city pop thanks to TikTok. I guess that's a style of music with such hits as Aru 56709.
That is good. All right, here. The guy's name is Joey Valance. Look up Joey Valance. If you like Beastie Boys style rap or you miss that kind of rap, Joey Valance is doing pretty much exactly the same thing as the Beastie Boys. And I love the Beastie Boys, but obviously one is no longer with us and they don't make music anymore. So this fills that void for me because I don't really have anybody now that I know of that makes that kind of music. And he's pretty new, so he doesn't have enough content yet where I can like just consume a bunch, but what he does have is great, and it all sounds like Beastie Boys. So
for a while there, I was listening to a lot of Billie Eilish, which I wasn't expecting to enjoy.
I liked her a lot. Yeah, I recommended her to you.
Yeah, because I love Fiona Apple, and Ramit was like, "You should try Billie Eilish," and I was like, "I don't know, that's what the kids are listening to," but.
I can't believe she's 20 years old and it's just so talented. Like
right.
That.
Unbelievable voice for that age, like for any age really, but that age in particular. And that she sings that kind of music too. You guys are giving some great recommendations in here. I'm going to have to look into some of these. Also, Retsuza says, I didn't know you liked Plantasia, RMC, but thought you might. Oh, I do. Yes, I love Plantasia. That album's so great.
Yeah, it is really great.
You know, I'm not like, this is the best music ever, but it's just, I love the idea, and it's so fun and silly. And
Got to put in a plug here for the one, the only Sharon Van Etten.
Okay, go ahead.
If you haven't listened to some of her stuff, she's fantastic.
We went to school with her.
Yeah, I threw shot put with her.
Well, her career changed, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't say that either.
Maybe
of us
she
were...
still does it on the side.
Right.
All right, Mom Brain. Questions.
Took her to prom.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I didn't take her, but we went together, I guess I should say.
Did you drive her?
Did you take her after prom?
Oh.
No.
Did you take her at prom?
No. That was a terrible prom date.
Because you didn't take her at prom?
We don't need to get into it.
Let's just say any of her sad songs are written about.
I'm a terrible date.
The love she lost. The one that got away. All right, Mom Brain. It's time for...
I got music. You want to hear it? You want to hear it? Oh.
Please send your music to goninpod@gmail.com.
Where?
goninpod@gmail.com. Please put music in the title. Music only happens with your support from people like you, and you're people like you. So send us music. Mom Brain, hopefully it goes better this week than last. Have you restarted your computer?
Yeah.
Okay, let's give it a go.
I believe it's been updated even.
goninpod@gmail.com.
Let's go. First song comes...
Let's go.
Oh boy. From... Who does it come from?
Sorry, not beautiful.
This one comes from Turbo K.
Oh, sorry. You can guess. Sorry, I forgot.
I'm pretty sure you played it.
Yeah. Switch, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna guess him.
Is this just that TikTok that Dude's been watching?
I'm gonna turn down a little. It's not Neon White, but I'm just gonna get.
No.
I'm gonna get that out of the way. Neon White has a very interesting soundtrack. What the hell is this? I definitely played it. I know it.
No More Heroes.
No.
Franchise?
No.
You're pretty sure I played it. How do you know I played it?
I think you showed it to me.
Can I... Perfect timing. Can I get a half point if I have a hint? I'll ask for a specific hint.
Well,
Animal Crossing?
the reason you showed it to me is because it's definitely something that I'm interested in.
You're interested in?
The subject matter, not the game, but...
Hamsters, something?
No.
Animals? Yes, it's got animals in it?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Guinea pigs?
A specific type of animal?
Yeah.
Chickens.
No.
Like you said, hamsters.
The very, like...
Cats.
Yeah.
This is a cat game? Is it about stretchy cats?
I don't think so.
Gatto Roboto.
Yes.
That's why I know it. I even wrote about this game, or that game this week.
So Turbo K sent us Gato Roboto.
If anybody's looking for something new and you like Metroidvanias, Gatto Roboto. Great one.
This comes from Steister.
It's a cat in a Metroid suit. What more could you want?
Star Wars: The Last Ceremony of A New Hope, the game.
That's it. Everybody shut it down.
Is this first party?
I don't think so.
Whoa. What system?
Switch.
Jesus, I got no clue.
Just double check that that's...
This makes me... It's just...
It was originally on Super Nintendo, but it is on Switch.
Live Alive.
No.
No. Originally on Super Nintendo. All right, so it's gotten some sort of remake or remaster. Super Nintendo epic soundtrack. Super Nintendo Sega Genesis. Dragon Quest something?
New.
Final Fantasy something?
New.
Go ahead, I don't know.
ActRaiser.
Oh, I never
Renaissance.
played ActRaiser. If Kirby was here, he would have got it.
Uh,
Thanks a lot, Kirby.
Steister said, I don't think Rami will get it without a lot of guidance. I tried to pick an easy song for him, but still think it's not in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, I've never played ActRaiser. I haven't played the remake either.
And
I'm a failure. And it's a Yuzo Koshiro soundtrack. I mean, how much more?
Really?
Yeah, how much more of my wheelhouse could you get? I'm
this
fed up with this world.
comes from Hey Duda 32.
Hi, hey, dude. Good to hear from you.
Who says, so glad to hear you guys back on the air. I don't comment or catch live streams much anymore due to being busy, but I always grin when you show up in my podcatcher and I never miss an episode. I hope to try and submit music regularly.
We're here,
glad
baby.
to
We're
hear
here.
The whole crew back together again. Cheers and keep up the great show.
All of us back together. George, so good to have George back.
I'm having a whale of a lime.
I'm on the line. All right. Please forgive me, but this is definitely Japanese.
For goodness me.
If this isn't Japanese, my world will be rocked. This is, what's this? Just tell me it's Switch.
Cube.
Oh, it's so Japanese, it hurts. Product number 3.
No.
Bacon Kaitos.
Nope.
Billy Hatcher.
Nope.
What is this on GameCube, man? Killer 7.
Nope.
Franchise?
Yeah.
Yes, franchise. Oh, dude's looking. Now I can't have him guess. I'm all alone
Like I would have
in life.
I mean, it's not. I mean, you have to really look close.
It's a franchise. It's Sonic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I knew it was Sega and I didn't say it. GameCube. Sonic Heroes?
No.
Sonic 1 or 2 Adventure. Sonic Adventure 1 or 2.
Sonic Adventure.
I knew
2.
from the second I heard it, I knew it was Sega and I didn't say it.
But you did say it.
Eventually.
I don't. You're weird, man.
No, I said it to myself and I should have just said it out loud because I knew it was
Do
Sega.
it to yourself. Just you. Do you know, speaking of Radiohead, that concert that you were at, that I was at with Julie, you were there, I think, the night before.
Yeah. Yep.
One of the t-shirts that I bought there is my absolute all-time most favorite t-shirt, and I believe I'm wearing it tomorrow for our travel day.
Nice.
It's like starting to get like really worn out, but man, do I love that.
Oh, I thought there was going to be like some big revelation about it.
No,
just bringing it up. I bought. So I went there the day before. It was at the Prudential Center, and I guess they were playing 2 nights at the Prudential Center, and I liked this like cardigan
I
sweater.
still have mine.
That
I remember
I
that.
was like, this is a really cool sweater. So I bought it, and the buttons were on the other side, and I was like, oh, this is just your European cut, you know? And it was like, I don't know. I asked for an extra large, and I think he gave me a medium, and like I was just like, oh, thanks, you know, like it's European cut, so it's tighter than most. And then got home, and I realized that it was not only was it a medium, but it was a blouse. It was a lady's sweater, and so I gave it to you, Mom Brain, and I asked you to exchange one, not for a man's shirt, for a size that would fit me. And I have since outgrown that sweater, but I still have it. But I'll never forget, like, I was working with like younger people at the time, younger adults at the time, and I was telling the story to this coworker, and I was telling him that I bought like a lady shirt, and he just goes, "Oh, you bought a blouse," and I'll never forget.
And I've bought nothing but blouses since.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
It was
Oh,
a
you bought
great,
blouse.
great night. This comes from Freddie Fro.
Freddie Pro, let yourself go. Slow and low.
This is the tempo. It's as loud as I can make it.
That's as loud as you can go? I don't understand. Oh, this is Guardians of the Galaxy.
It is.
This is the moments I love. The team huddle. I can barely hear it, but I got it. You might as well go since it's so quiet.
All right. So as we go, that's from Freddie Fro.
Wow.
Guardians of the Galaxy on the Switch. What do we?
One more, I think.
Okay.
One more for 6 out of 9.
Okay.
That sounded a lot like Ness. Okay.
This comes from Rosemary the Farmer, who says, "Hey, this might be a stumper, but it may trigger a stress sweat and booty clench if anyone's played the game."
Thor.
Juicy booty.
Something's familiar. Do I know this?
I don't know.
All right, so it's very nicely done. I'm sorry, did I ask Switch? It's Switch.
It's Switch.
The Switch has got so many damn games. Booty Clench.
The game.
First party?
I don't think so. Let me double check. Doesn't say.
Okay. Then I'm going to go with I don't know.
You played it.
Xenoblade. Point is blow. Ori. Go ahead. I don't know.
I'm trying to think of one.
Franchise?
I hate the title. Not so much
Come
the
on,
title,
man.
but how it's spelled.
That's a hint. That's like thousands of games.
You're right. That is thousands.
Near Automata.
Phoenix Rising or whatever that was.
Oh, really?
Exactly right. Nicky
Wow.
Hill.
Good for you, Nikki Hill.
Great job.
That's because he knows his friend. Unlike somebody at
You
this table.
hate the spelling of so many games and game names. It's your thing. Live Alive is one of them you don't
One
like.
of my things.
What secret's going on over here?
Okay, I'll tell you.
That's great because I do the same thing. I can't read lips and I can't hear. All right. Well, that's 6 out of 9, I believe.
Of course it's 6 out of 9.
I don't remember that. You know, that game was fine. It was fine. But, you know.
It was a ripoff. It was a poor
Just fine.
Breath of the Wild ripoff.
It was fine. Dude, you got something to play us out?
I do. To end the show, I do. This just came across my desk right now. Deux Views. It's never news. Rumor of the week with Deux Michaels. Ladies and gentlemen, you better download all your digital Switch games now because Nintendo is not going to tell you about this. They're shutting down the Switch eShop
already
for 3 or 4 months, and then it'll be back. But they're not telling you when. I'm telling you right now. So make sure you do
So
that.
they're giving it the old Mexican pizza treatment.
They're giving
Oh,
it,
yeah.
Yep, they're giving it the Mexican pizza treatment. And the only reason I found out is because someone deep on the inside heard about my troubles and reached out to me personally. So I'm letting everybody know that just make sure your pets are spayed or neutered and make sure all your Switch games are downloaded.
Well, thanks for the heads up. I appreciate it. You wouldn't think the Switch eShop would go away since it's their current system and it's doing so well. But thanks for the information.
You wouldn't think that.
Oh, you guys.
And normally this would be just a rumor, but this is true.
Oh, hi, Arcade Token. Thanks for sneaking in at the very end. We will have an after show. Yes, Mom Brain.
You ready for the hot goss?
I don't know that you should say that on the air. It's kind of their own thing right now.
I mean, okay.
No.
Fine.
They are talking about it in a public forum, but we don't need to put them on blast.
Okay, fine.
Nintendo. Red Souza confirms. He says Nintendo is removing digital. It's happening.
Rex says do it. I have consent from Rex.
Well, you need consent from both people.
I know. I'm waiting.
Well, now we're going to sit here.
Ms.
and wait.
Beaverhausen?
This was going to be the end of the show, and now we got to wait.
What you want? You think people want me to end on a cliffhanger?
Yeah,
here?
because they're going to think it's some juicy game news, and it's
not juicy game news. This isn't games. This is people.
This is real life.
This is real life.
They're not even typing right now.
Okay, well, fine. Then I guess y'all all have to just wait and see.
No, it's not anything this is not anything exciting like for podcasts now. Like you can't leave people at the end of a show on a cliffhanger and come back and tell them next week.
So it's not game news. It's just it's our little community, and I was excited. So
Rex, that's really funny. It's how about this? It's a potential budding romance. There you go. We'll say that. But that's it, everybody. We are out of here. We'll see you next week, regular time. We'll see you next week on Saturday whenever we get back. It should be regular time, but what?
I don't know. That's pushing it.
You say that every year.
Mm-hmm.
Every year. We've been doing this for decades.
Plays it safe.
If there are,
drive. Everybody stay safe out there.
thank you. We'll keep you updated. But yeah, we'll see you next Saturday at some time. So have a great weekend. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, after show. What do you got for me? Give me something. Hit me up. Shoot me with some hot goss. Give me
what you were whispering.
Yeah, what's this whisper?
No, not. It can't be. I don't want it to be heard publicly. It'll be after we go off the air.
Alrighty.
Here's some prime after show content, says Coleman. It's a new We Talk Funny, and we're talking to Colleen, somebody, about Sonic 2 hitting theaters April 8th. We chat about Sonic the Hedgehog fanbase, voice acting tips, and this clip, Tails joins a very different video game franchise. It's Tails doing Lemon Scene. Oh, okay.
Lemon Party?
No. The Cave Johnson Lemon thing. Wow, congratulations, Anastasia. That's great. Marriage already. I mean, I feel like I just saw this thing blossom in the chat, and now it's marriage.
I'm gonna not make a comment.
Well, they're both talking about it now.
I know. I was.
You're not going to go to the wedding?
I would, if I'm invited, I would love to go. I just worry that we're on delicate ground when it comes to the wedding.
Well, Mom Brain, for the after show, let me pump you up for North Carolina. I'll say words to you that will mean nothing to anybody else, but they'll get you excited.
Tuna Q.
Tuna Q was my first one. Tuna Q was my first one.
I'm hungry too, so that's not helping.
I'm really hungry right now. I'm trying to. I would say Outer Banksius, but that makes sense to everybody else.
Yeah, that's it.
Harry Hagupita.
Larry.
Whoa!
Rex.
This is a picture.
Rex, we need to see the rear.
This is.
We started talking about rears.
No. We are not asking people for butt pictures on the internet.
I don't want a naked one.
I don't care what kind.
Oh, fine.
Holy moly. Somebody puts one picture in the chat and you're like, we need a butt picture right now. Listen, you 2 or 3 private message on Discord, you go right ahead. But there, Coma gave you one.
Gave us one.
Holy moly, you're turning into an animal. Tuna Q. Focus on Tuna Q.
All
right. You know what else we're seeing tomorrow? The Statue of Liberty.
In like Virginia.
It's the real one. We went on our drive down to North Carolina. I don't even know what the shop is, but there's a place that has like
taxes.
I don't know, like a 1/30th scale of the Statue of Liberty. And every time we go by, I'm like, there it is, Mom Brain Statue.
There she is.
Standing tall. Oh, maybe.
No, we are not talking about that coffee.
No, not that. Go ahead. I'll give you one more. That's great, Pipla. Maybe this time you'll drive on the other side of the road again.
He brings us up every year.
On the road again. for those who don't know, and I've probably told the story a bunch, but I'll tell it again. Mom Brain, one year driving down to North Carolina, just decided that the right way to go was to drive into the oncoming traffic.
I was making a turn and it was dark. So I was making like a perpendicular
so
turn.
Dark that you didn't know which road to go on.
And I didn't realize that it was a two-way road. And
She went to make the turn, and I'm like, I don't want to be a backseat driver. She's driving. I know I'm horrible at driving. Then we were like really going for it, and I was like, Danielle, what are you doing? And she's like, what? And I was like, what do you mean? What? We're going on the wrong side of the road. And she's like, what? But luckily, no one was coming.
You're such
so.
a stickler for the rules, though, RMC.
Driving on the right side of the road on a highway.
Remember the time that I took a turn really fast, and he legitimately was like, dude, you pulled some G-forces there.
We definitely did.
He really like meant it too. It was great.
Yeah, because we did.
Wait, can we go back? So Mom Brain went down, like made a turn down the wrong side of the road, and when you said something, she turned into Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse?
Oh boy, we're on the wrong side of the road. Oh boy. All right. These woke drivers insisting to drive on the correct side of the road. It's red suits. That's great. Oddly enough, Mom Brain was yes, she didn't want to drive on the right side of the road, so she went for the left side of the road, which makes sense. All right, everybody, that's it. You guys have a great weekend. Play some games, hang out with friends and family, rest, relax. You deserve it. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Bye. And we're out.